to Disney Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your Dungeon Master, August Schmid, and with me are the problem children. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. Oh, we already have some people in the chat. Welcome. For those in the chat, and for first timers, and of course our wonderful little wrap up. Last we saw you guys,
we were all dying.
Yes.
You were all dying, fighting Despotter in his tower.
No.
This psychotic man.
I don't think I got any.
Thumbelina.
We were
Thumbelina,
clever
you are
with how we
full.
fought.
Jim's full and Jasmine's full. Kronk, Morph and Mr. Incredible, you guys took a lot of the damage that fight.
What am I at?
Definitely feeling, that very tanky fighter show of like really taking the damage. But in fighting Despotter, fulfilling first of all your contract to Mr. T, but also through clever trickery, Mr. Incredible, making Mr. T believe you are Orcus. And that this is somehow part of the plan, where he then, to cover up and make sure nothing went wrong, charmed the party. You all murdered Mr. Waternoose in that same session.
I'm actually
Oh,
really
I saw crap
bummed.
stars up. That's right.
I'm really bummed that we're not going to be able to go to Monsters Inc. I'm very bummed.
Awesome.
Out of all the layers of how Monsters Inc. may have been the best one to be in, just because it's like chill.
Nostalgic.
It's nostalgic, yes.
I want to know if he had Boo in there in some way.
It's funny, when you have a member of another campaign who's playing Mike Wazowski, there would have been fun tie-ins too.
Oh.
But
That's fine.
that's how the dice roll. That's how the game progresses. It's fun.
It was really cool.
It was impressive.
Upon gathering the party, tumbling through the portal, so Mr. T has just sent you all arriving in, and this is why I have it pulled up, Phlegethos, the fourth layer of Tartarus. You are all greeted. You see, of course, in the distance, there are like lava and volcano spewing. But the air here is not ashy like this, right? Already it's that like...
It's not like this.
You never notice it until this happens, where you walk from like a hazy, smoky environment to clean air, and
you're like, what is this?
And thankfully, that's all behind us.
Oh, you are very optimistic, sir.
That's disappointing.
Yes, so even though there are like volcano and lava, the air here where you guys are at is very clean. You can
all the
actually
dust
see.
just disappeared.
I'm gonna hurt someone.
Oh, good one.
Let him finish.
Glassy obsidian floor is below your feet, and rising above you are multiple different, shall we call them, courthouses. You all know this because in variety of one way or another, either like column-esque Grecian style, like maybe we would know, or even I would say like Thumbelina, you see like court fayish like looking stuff with like bramble area, to even Jim and Morph, what looks very futuristic buildings that seem to like shift and move.
That's cool.
As you all have stumbled out, though, Thumbelina, Morph, and Jim, the charm person effect Mr. T had you on you guys is gone. And the last bit seems very fuzzy. You actually do not remember anything about Mr. T's name with Mr. Incredible, like any of that little conversation. But you have more of those memories of like Mr. T congratulating you, and then helping you take down Mammon and saying, here's a portal. It feels kind of like that dream-esque state, except for you, Mr. Incredible. Everything's crystal clear.
Did we get the message sent to the other group?
You did. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying is what we ended is literally like before you did anything, it was like filling
Sunday
in Morph,
session got the stuff about.
throwing in the box, and sending it off to them.
Oh, I have a question. So I maybe leveled up, and I maybe got Great Restoration, and I maybe need a diamond that if Thumbelina had thought about it, and she probably would have, because I didn't know I was getting this spell until like literally today.
Right.
She would have asked for a diamond from Merlin. Is there a
Oh.
possibility that? You know what I'm asking?
Yes, if
'Cause,
Merlin...
like, technically, as a player, I didn't know.
Yeah. No,
But like,
yes.
Thumbelina would have thought about it.
It's this may be the last time for a while where a care package can go kind of instantaneously. Okay. What I'll say is this: you have yet to receive back the courier,
Right.
and it
I
might be
would
because
also have asked for adamantine, several pieces.
I wonder why. Wonder why, truly.
Yeah, at least one, if not two, then.
I'm just saying, Morph and Merlin have a great
When we
relationship,
level up,
and Merlin is
do we
very
get all our hit points
concerned
back
with
or
the
no?
continued
No, you
existence
just
of Morph
if you
in this world.
buff your Constitution, then you'll gain hit points, but you don't like heal from leveling up.
It's true.
What is the remind me?
Hey guys, I have 3rd level spells now.
Hey.
What's the average
I'm choosing
that I
haste,
level up?
slow, and counterspell.
I can't remember.
Ooh,
Is
those
it
are
based
good
on my
ones.
hit dice?
Oh.
Yeah. So your hit die being a D8.
So you get
So
5
the-
plus your con unless you decide to roll.
Correct.
So 5 plus my con.
Yep.
Mhm.
Also, August,
So,
Crown of Stars lasts for an hour.
It's true.
Do I still
Chronologically, according to where Morph is, it's still under the hour. So yes,
Cool.
you have 5 mini morphs, which Jim look very strange because there's a pink morph and then these like red, like glaring little morphs that are just kind of like
I have blue morph.
orbiting, and you're familiar blue
so
morph.
many morphs.
am I still Raja here?
Fun fact:
It's not concentration.
when
When I was charmed? did I
when
not-
you were charmed, Mr. T would have made you drop the Raja to throw up your well, the power to kill Mammon,
Oh, that's
Water
right,
News.
Power word kill.
Just because he kind of was in the know of like, hey, when I first saw you guys, you weren't a tiger, and so, but it's nothing bad yet, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. I was just curious.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to find out what Hades' reaction is to.
So
this
yes,
weird
but you
being
could have
alive.
asked for a diamond. But you just
Ish.
know it
Alive-ish.
might be who knows how long because while they're getting the message, being now in the 4th layer, time is going to be moving much differently.
Yay.
So who knows what will happen? Really,
Interesting.
it's very interesting.
I mean, we kind of expected to be that way anyway.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be Jaegering Jasmine?
I got Kronk.
You guys, with Kronk, you actually see though, this is very important. Raja and Jasmine, when first coming out of the portal, you all see that both of them have disappeared.
Yay!
I'm sorry. August.
They
Raja
got
and
stuck in the
Jasmine.
third
And that's where
layer
we're gonna end
though.
the session.
And this campaign, because you all died.
I'm sorry.
You said Raja and Jasmine.
Raja and Jasmine. I will
They
say
just
because
disappeared.
when Galder's Feedy Courier went off,
Yes.
they were there. Like quickly, like okay, quick before we move, let's write down the information, fill you all in. But
Can I
looking up,
divine sense for Raja?
yes.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
You bamf a divine sense, and don't feel Raja immediately, just because
Where
already.
did the dagger go?
It's a
Nice
good Kronk.
Kronk.
I like that Kronk. But what you do sense
Jim
is
has
a
the compass, right?
minorish demon, some
Okay, 'cause
fiend
I'm
walking
usually
up to you.
sometimes you did
Because
and then you
where we
turn
kind of
Yeah, I never
ended
let her hold
exactly
on.
last session, you see
back. That's a good
this demon with like weird spike jutting through his head, or through their head, excuse me, with like multiple little forked tongues flickering out. Pulls up, smart little suit, gray and white shirt. Flick, 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 flick,
Alright,
flick,
we're
flick,
gonna
flick,
be
flick.
judged.
Starts
I'm
flicking
not
through a little
comfortable
notebook.
with this.
All right, are you the rogue Imagineer party traveling through Charters?
Just
Yeah,
traveling through.
yeah.
Just traveling through?
We're going on. Our,
You've been served. Hands a little packet over just in the middle. You guys pats it. We'll expect you shortly.
you're serving us papers.
And
I would
bursts
like
into
to talk
flames.
with my attorney.
He just kind of nods, but just lets himself. It's not like a fast eruption. You watch it just flame kind of lick over his body. Nothing seems hurtful though. As
Even
He
if it
disappears.
was, I wouldn't care. He's a demon.
he's a demon.
Crap. I
There
don't want to do
is
jury duty again.
there is a stack of papers in front of you, and they're like all packeted together. You see there are 7 papers. Yes, sir.
There's not sitting
Okay,
on us.
so Jim will go through and he'll find his, and then he'll be like, "Crap, my childhood record should have been wiped, right?"
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to immediately find mine.
Do you all want to find yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious, what name is it going to be? Under?
This is actually
Should I also
important.
grab Jasmine's though?
No!
Um,
no!
You can.
Honestly, why
With
are you
Jasmine not
keeping
being here,
Wait, does Raja have
I-
any?
Raja does not. You see that there are papers for, and this is fun. One,
As As Cross's
Jasmine
lawyer,
of Agrabah, as her family does not technically have a surname. One for Morph the Changeling, with no surname.
That's very interesting. I was really
One
curious.
actually, Thumbelina, you have an addendum on yours, like the front page, where you can mark off if your preference of Thumbelina of this reincarnated life, as since Petalbud, you are the reincarnation, of the fairy godmother of this person, technically has died and cannot be served or convicted, being dead. Which is something interesting that happens with reincarnation.
That is very interesting.
And so they're basically saying it's like, because of this scenario, legally, what should we put on the paperwork for you? It's that, like, what's your name? How do you identify? Like, do you identify as Petalbud or Thumbelina?
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a little checkboxy thing.
Okay.
Finally, there's one for Robert Parr.
Ooh, we know your name now.
Nobody knew that he was
You
Bob.
know your name. But yes, it is that they
I
don't
think
use
can I-
your
like, you
hero
can
name.
call
I
couple.
stealthily
We knew Bob,
just
but we
like
didn't know the rest of
look
his
over his shoulder.
As you all say it. Robert. Just,
So,
as,
how's your record? Would you say it's like subpar,
Oh my
on
Oh,
par,
that was so good.
above par?
Hey, August,
I'll
can
go
I go
far.
through my papers? And I'm really curious. I'm just gonna skim and try to see if there's anything from before I became Morph, because I'm really curious if they just decided to call me
Yes.
Morph, or
Okay.
if they know.
you do see, yes. And finally, though, besides
Please.
they have James Pleady's Hawkins.
They have
Um,
your full name?
Yeah,
Um,
well, yeah, that's what he's called in the movie.
Wait, did Morph know your name?
Probably
I don't
not.
think Morph knew Pleady's. It's one of those, like,
I
out
wanna
of
see.
out of this world where, again,
You
names and
please
surnames
tell
can
me
be
you
so
remember.
interchangeable.
Okay, my
Sorry.
question: whose papers are the thickest?
Here's what you guys notice. Because Kronk, Pepe Crankinitz has actually one page. Kronk has one
Oh,
page.
cute.
You see, Kronk's definitely is the
Okay,
lightest.
okay, Kronk
That's so
should.
cute.
Who has the
see
highest charisma?
that there is one for
Probably the Bard.
18.
18.
one second. I have to
Yeah, I'm
make
only
a
at
roll.
15.
Okay, Kronk has the highest charisma of us all.
Does he have? What does he have?
He has a 20,
Oh, jeez.
We leveled up. You got
I'm
and
doing
he
quick.
gets a +10 to persuasion. We should have him be our lawyer.
I have G's or Geese, so we can charm the.
You have.
You guys
Yes.
watch as Hook is looking through. You actually see
Oh,
written.
look.
You watch as Hook has just written something on his paper. It looked like another little addendum-y kind of thing. As words start just kind of changing, as you see James Hook, Captain, underneath first paper, he has a stack as thick as a book.
He's been around a long time.
He has
Who's
been
this
around a
We
thicker?
lot.
should have known that his was
Hmm?
thicker.
Is he the thickest?
He is the thickest. Pun intended. We're going there. No. But what you see is
Melina.
it kind of goes Hook. Jasmine's actually is a pretty
That
good
also is not
packet.
surprising.
Hey, I'm a good bro.
And then from that, it's actually among like you then four even, Mr. Incredible. It varies. There's nothing though like it's hard to tell. Be like how many pages you got, just because like
Wait,
all of
are
yours
they
are
not
like
numbered?
enough. No, because this is not. These are multiple papers because it's like here's the section detailing your rights and waivers here in the fourth
Okay,
layer.
that's
Here's like list of either crimes or things that like being brought up. Here's the things.
She's the queen of thieves, isn't she? That's
Oh,
why
yeah,
she
so
has
there's
Jasmine
more Jasmine
has a
is so
much
good.
Okay,
bigger piece of
guys,
paper.
we need to find a good lawyer.
You guys can see.
That, or we can run away. If we make it to Canada, change your names.
Canada, where's that?
My great grandpa did this during the draft.
Are you serious?
No,
Oh, I was gonna say, oh
Wild.
my gosh, I don't think you should say that on live stream.
it was a
Or
joke.
wherever we flee.
Oh my.
What you guys see is
Braxton.
along with this, there is like a little court number, right? Like where to find like places. And there is like also an informational packet, which does describe that there is a small temple shrine for finding of lawyers that you can kind of be represented by whomever, but you're not sure what that means. But there is like a, you are here, here's where here is, go to here if you want that
We need to
information.
put our brains together. Who's the slimiest lawyer-esque kind of character we can think of in a Disney movie?
I'm not happy, Bob.
Okay. But August, so do I have to roll something to see if there is any information from?
Yes, it's an investigation check because you're trying to dig through.
Excuse.
With Thumbling, because it's very like important to be like, hey, with a resurrection spell being this technically new life, how are you running this? They have to like ask that question. Mr. Critical, you actually see that even though you are technically dying, because it is a same life of brought back, proof of soul purchase is what is put on. So there's that like slight addendum of cursed human, undead.
Proof of soul or thereof lack.
Right.
Lack of. Thereof.
Yes.
Whatever.
I got a 30.
What the
30.
fetch?
I rolled a 19 and I have a plus 11.
Nice.
On a 30 more.
Oh yes, I rolled so well.
You see
Nice
that there
job.
is in fact nothing about your previous life.
It doesn't count as a previous life.
But what I will say on a 30, it might be not that it doesn't count, but that they might not know.
Interesting.
Which I will say is something
Very
that
surprising.
clicks in. Jim, you still have the soul in that bag of holding. Knowing about you might not be the best thing down here. Because again, any demon worth their salt would see this as an opportunity of freedom from hell. And so it is that like, they don't know, but thank goodness they don't know.
Yeah.
Like they just think, yes, I'm an entity like under like birth. It's kind of that like birth of etherealness into nothingness into a
So
changeling.
then so somehow okay, cool.
They just are like.
They're like, we don't
exist.
question how you came into existence. We just know that you do exist. So now I
The-
want to find.
their job. These aren't doctors and medical practitioners going, how the hell does this thing work? This is like, you exist and there's crimes that we want to charge you with. So,
Okay.
What kind of crimes? So are they in mine? Are they counting the crimes that I committed as Petalbud and Thumbelina, or just the
You have to
ones
identify as one of them.
No, I understand
Yes,
that
yeah.
part, but I'm asking about like my
with
crimes
the
as Petalbud
identification,
were considered higher than my crimes as Thumbelina.
this is actually important. It's not just the identification.
Which is
There
better
is-
to identify.
Well,
the-
because I was
yeah.
accused. I was wrongly accused. is
Yes,
that-
there was a wrongful accusation
Yeah.
as Petalbud of matricide, right?
Yeah.
Like that's huge. What you see is it actually is something where whichever one you choose, whomever you choose, it does follow with.
Okay, so
those
if I
crimes.
identify as Thumbelina,
It-
then the crimes as Thumbelina. Whereas if I were to
Mhm.
be a Petalbud, then it would be the crimes as Petalbud.
And it's something where if you legally claim yourself as Petalbud, Thumbelina is in there because it's that like you were reincarnated, so we'll call you Petalbud and we're going to like kind of group summit. By claiming Thumbelina, this new life, new person, it is this is my identity, this is who I bring myself out as, and they can't charge you then for it because it's that, well, even though you were, you're not.
Okay, so
Yeah.
other follow-up question because I have a lot of questions because this is very complicated.
This is an insane thing that's going on. I love the fourth layer.
So because I eventually want to go back as Petalbud, would I need to identify as Petalbud now? Or can I identify
good
as
question, yeah.
Thumbelina to not have to worry about the crimes of Petalbud? Do you know what I'm asking?
Give me an insight. You're trying to insight off of paper, which is hard. It's actually something that like there are certain rogue types that can literally do that, where it's like, hey, I want to insight off of this. Because you're trying to see like, can this affect my future too? If I legally claim I'm no longer Petalbud.
Because I would like to go back because technically I have a birthright to take care of.
Exactly. And so it's that like I don't want to just sign a paper in case something happens.
It's a 5+. This is insight.
Mhm.
You sure can't be perception?
It's inside. You're trying to
11.
11. Here's what I'll give you. It's unclear, and that might be a bad thing because, as of right now, it might help. Here's what I actually will say on 11. Lawyers would help better. Something that could look through for you because there's so much legal jargon in here. It's actually hard just to like see what kind of crimes or what they're trying to charge you with. There's so much stacked into all this paperwork, and so on 11, you're looking at this. It could definitely come back and bite you, because if you try to say, "I'm Thumbelina, haha, can't charge me," there could be some subtle loophole of like, and now you can't go back or something like that. You're right in assuming that, and so you might want, because this isn't time sensitive.
Right.
You might want to lawyer up, right? As said, to have something or someone be able to really fine tune, because that's such a specific loophole. You cannot allow yourself to like get.
Is there a way to change your name on the
Legally?
You want to make it Mr. Incredible?
No, I want to make it Monsieur Incroyable.
Monsieur Incroyable.
I'm not Monsieur Incroyable. I'm Mr. Incredible. Don't you know? No. Not on this paper, no.
Okay.
It's something that's just been added as the addendum for Thumbelina with that situation.
No, that makes sense.
It could be possible down here, but again, it's that like, this is the 4th layer of hell. Is that binding for me up mortal plane, or is that like a soul binding? Like, does that change my identity? There's a lot you guys don't know just in reading through. Yes, Morph.
So, I have a question. I got a 30 on the investigation, so I'm wondering if perusing through, I have a decent idea of how detailed the accusations get. So,
just looking through, what I will say, these are the most detailed records of anything.
Cool, that's great. So, I will want details later, but I don't need those now. What I'm wondering is, you said that my record is about the same size as all of us four. So are you saying, like, how much bigger roughly would it be if I had Asher's as well as Morph's?
Asher, is that who you were?
When
Yes.
I say detailed, I mean session 1.
So,
And
oh
I
my
mean
gosh.
backstory. And there will be stuff that, like, we might, just because it's not like, yeah, in session this had never come up, but would your
Fetch.
character ever have shoplifted?
I literally
Um,
stole.
There's stuff that, like,
He was beating his
I
child.
guess I have stolen.
he
I
was,
really-
this kid hit his kid.
My
I'm
wife
so-
keeps bringing that up. It's like, look, you got the magic hammer, okay?
I feel like.
But
as
yes, this
like
is-
Thumbelina and Petalbud are such pure souls in the sense of like. No, okay, let me.
no. I see where you're coming from.
Legally, she is a pure soul where she would not shoplift. She would not steal. She would
There's a
not do
lot.
Did you
Yes.
take
All of
anything
those
from the
records.
Cave of Wonders?
Cave of Wonders, yes, but that's ancient stuff. That's
That's
different.
stealing from the Cave of Wonders.
Okay, but like
Still
that's
stealing.
different. It's
That's
not
why I
There's
said
a
that I've
lot-
stolen.
Here's what I will say. Actually, there's a lot of confusion. I will say it takes a while. It's something I'm gonna give for. This isn't like a plug kind of DM thing.
How
It is
big
that
is my record?
a lawyer, someone to start representing and doing this, like those hard questions, is gonna help right now.
Oh my gosh.
Like I've been saying, Kim, we need to get an
Oh my
attorney.
gosh. Okay, I'm going to immediately
make
Does
message
it have
him.
like a time
Okay.
on the paper for our
Okay,
trials?
dang it, I need
More
eyes
like
now.
if you,
Or is it just like show up and do it?
it's a show up and do it. Give me though just a brief investigation, Mr. Incredible, because there's some other stuff you could.
I think Morph's going to explode.
I need to message Jim something.
Yes, you can message.
So, Asher, before I became Morph, isn't on here. So there's going to be another record for Asher.
Oh.
And that might, if it's this detail, I'm like show him some details and you don't need to know any others. But there might be answers to what happened to me.
But I doubt they're going, because, like, it's your soul, not necessarily your body. So, like, yeah, you might get, like, papers from, like, before.
But, well, I
But
got a
you
30
won't get any-
investigation, right?
You
Yeah.
won't
So
get
I'm
anything
going to say,
current,
it
right?
It's
looks
like
like
a-
they didn't even know that I used to be Asher.
But
So
would it be stuff? Here's, I think Jim's.
Yeah, like, so your body is currently in control, is being controlled by other things. So,
true.
I doubt your record of you and your crimes will be on that, because that's a vessel.
That's a possession
That's
thing.
true.
Yeah, it's
There
not-
can be multiple different
Even if
bylaws
it's
when it comes
up
to
to the
possession
point
of a
where
person.
I'm gonna look
The incident
for,
happened. Wouldn't
like,
maybe
two
have
things.
Yes.
I'm gonna look
some
for, like,
sort
the
of record of
procedures. So like
who
when
it
we show
happened
up,
for, like
how they
who
do
the
it.
body
Yes.
I
was
also want to
intended
look
for.
for
I don't think so.
like
Because
if they have
I
potential
mean, I
consequences.
doubt here where
in
they, like,
practice.
judge souls.
Yes.
It would be
Good.
like if you commit
go
a
ahead,
crime,
yeah, roll for that, because that's
and then
definitely.
that record goes onto your car, and then that car gets into the possession
Ooh,
of someone
21.
else.
Yeah, you
They're
can't
not
be
gonna have
charged for that.
record.
It's just
Yeah,
that
I was just hoping that it would say something about how during the
Can I check this
cultist
compass?
sacrifice to get
yes, I
the
will
body
give you
to this
Mr. Incredible,
demon.
on a 21, and you can help point this out to people. In these packets,
Wow, that sounds so
it is through your arrival, you do have to then, you have been served, and so you have the discretion of setting your appointment. There are laws stating within the next decade, you must make it within the next decade or face severe legal consequence. And upon being served, leaving of the fourth layer will count as a
Running away from your
like fleeing your bail hearing. So, and in terms of consequences for that, it's a lot of stuff like loss of soul, loss of body, stripping of magical rights. There's a lot of judgment that can come from
Yeah,
this.
I'd rather
Okay,
not
are
have
there
any
any
further
specific,
judgment.
like,
Cool.
do I know what I'm like? I don't know who is going against me in the courtroom, but like, do I know what they're trying to accomplish? Like, are they trying to give me one lifetime in prison? Like, what are they trying to get?
Yeah,
Also,
what is
from me?
our
On the 2130,
sentence?
it looks like it may not even be like a charge because the accusee, there's the word I'm looking for, is writ in such a language it looks to
The
be
prosecutor.
yes, thank you, prosecutor. Man,
She's oh man.
I promise I have like all these words down. I've been prepping for this. The prosecuting is of such that it's been put under an overarching label of Tartarus, but
Oh.
Tartarus also then includes heaven, hell, Hades. Like there's more than just like, oh, this isn't just we're being charged by a devil. This seems to be something that not only looks to have a lot of different labels, something you're finding, Mr. Incredible, and I'll say morph too. It's that kind of like joint, like looking through his papers. It can change, as in you can choose what prosecutes, if that makes sense.
I can choose.
Yes, like you.
We would want legal advice, but
So we can choose whether we want to be prosecuted by heaven or hell or Hades.
You see this weird-looking devil come up. Legal advice. You see slicked black hair, just like Maximilian. Nice to meet your acquaintance.
Mister, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mister. Am I hearing you're in need of some legal counsel?
Mr.
Maximum.
Yeah.
Can I
is
do
there
an
anyone that
insight
you would
check?
recommend?
I would recommend the best, and that is me. What are you checking for?
I want to see, like, is he actually, like, does he look like he actually knows what he's talking about?
Give me
Like,
an insight.
honestly?
Yeah.
Okay.
And can I maybe do a
What the
history
frick?
check?
Yeah.
To see if I recognize this name from
Well,
my
actually,
previous two talks with the enemy.
Yes.
Okay, that is a 19 plus, what's my insight? 7. 26.
26. This is the sleaziest, scummiest lawyer that will get you all killed.
Okay, I'm gonna message to Mr. Incredible right now. He's no good. He is not good at all.
As the best, I know that you invest your time in your clients.
Exactly, and I only ask for 90%.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's just way too much going on here. We might need some other help as well.
Oh no, don't worry. I can cover you.
No.
Maximilian?
We have a
Yes,
height
That's
requirement.
what it was?
Yeah.
I think that we're gonna want to go with, we're gonna want a larger
Legal
investment and legal team.
You see, just all right. See yourself. When you lose your case, I do great soul repo. If you need that back,
I'll take the call.
hand you a
What
card.
does that
It
even
is
mean?
dripping with grease and blood.
Oh yeah.
As you see, just
Oh
like
gosh, that's disgusting. That's
What's
a skin
wrong
tight
with
suit.
you?
listen.
Please put it where the eye used to be.
Cut your hand. Call me up. I gotcha.
It's awful.
No one gets half your soul back like Max.
Oh my
he
gosh.
disappears in a puff of smoke. I'll say, as he leaves, though,
I mean,
you see,
you don't
looking
necessarily
around
need a soul to be alive,
on
apparently.
the surface, like not just Max, lawyers, defendants, DAs, PAs, a lot of different personages, not just devils, but
Do our
other.
documents
Okay.
say who wrote up our
One second.
sentence?
Other persons are appearing. You see, there's a lot of stuff, and there is actually a big like main room pavilion that is simply Morpheus can read Abyssal, correct?
Yes.
Written in
That person's the
Abyssal
only one who can't
for just like lawyers
Abyssal.
written above it. You know, or just like
Mhm.
that. There is a building for like if you need a lawyer.
Okay.
Um,
That's the place to go.
But yes, you guys had questions.
So Kronk would like to try to commune with Demeter and see if she could give us some better legal help than what.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That is a good
if we
idea.
could get like some other planar help here.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I think
You also
I'll
go
do
to
that as
Ares?
well with.
As much as I
Ares.
trust demons and devils, which I
Yeah.
don't.
Religion checks for that. Yeah, just
While
in
they're doing
That's a
praying.
good
that-
idea.
Can I check to see if it says at all, anywhere on our documents, who wrote up our sentence? Because if it's this thorough, then that's probably a pretty dang good lawyer.
This is a high check.
Okay.
It's going to be an insight though.
Can I get some help? Can someone help me?
I read Abyssal as well.
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
so
So
you could probably help
I
out.
have a +7.
I'd say
insight.
well
Is that
enough
better
in
than
that.
yours?
Oh yeah.
What'd
Okay.
you get?
21.
21?
That's freaking cocked, dang it. Okay, well that's an 18.
It's better than I would have rolled.
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah. No, that's a 5.
That was
Confirm.
almost an at 20, but it was super cocked. So
I'll say Kronk and Mr. Incredible. As you guys pray, you're not feeling any divine help. You know that natural magic of when you use your divine sense, your smite, that power that feels. Nothing really seems to come through that prayer. What did you get then, Morph?
only an 18.
18.
I almost got an at 20, but it was super cocked, so I
There
was
is
honest.
so much in all these packets, you probably wouldn't find it for a while.
Like not even at the bottom.
Is there like
Names of this is an intense legal document that may or may not even have been made to be intense. That finding like who's bringing up what is underneath, like it's probably embedded somewhere
I
in
see.
these papers.
I was hoping that it would say at the end, written by or composed by,
I
compiled
have
by.
a question.
Yes.
As
Now
I'm thinking
that's an
about the character, are they all accurate accusations? You know, like things on there, or is there like what people perceived?
It's
Do you know what I mean?
it's hard to tell. I'll say if well
Because
like
I'm specifically looking at my pedal bud part to see if the matricide
Yes.
is there.
in trying to look for stuff like that, I will say again, heavy legal stuff. On the 18 though, and like even just like through you're looking at, it could be a mixture of both
Okay.
right now because it's like okay,
Just in
it
case
could
it's
be
slid.
because it's like even if someone accuses you of a crime, that has to be resolved, right? Like you can't have like certain accusation or if charges and
I'm just gonna seal this for a second.
charges and not clues. What's the word I'm looking for? If it's been brought up to certain courts, even though it might be a perceived thing, it might still be brought up, and that could be for all of you too.
Gotcha.
It could be that like, yeah, I'm not actually a mean guy, but if someone really thought I was harassing them in the street, they could try to charge me harassment or something like
Right.
that. And this being magically compiled, there could be who knows what.
Is so looking at the lawyer area,
Mhm.
is it like they have separate offices, or is it like one giant area where people are trying to like get lawyers?
Kind of like an agency kind of thing. What you're seeing is it looks like people are getting meetings like and getting like consultation appointments of like, hey, based off of you, talk to these people or whatnot.
So, what's the worst thing on my record, in your professional opinion?
In my professional opinion, stuff that you don't know yet.
Oh.
So
What?
what I want to do, like,
I've lived my life. I assume I would know.
So then I will ask you, Jim, what do you think the worst thing you've done is? Because you like, it's kind of like with Thumbly. I like Thumbly. hey, matricide looks bad on paper, but I know it wasn't me. And so it could be that, like, what do you think could be the worst thing if it's something that, like, might be in the papers?
Follow-up question.
Yes.
Is my the wording has escaped me, but my record from before I was an adult.
Your juvie record?
Juvie record has
Is
not
this
been
freaking
wiped.
Gandalf?
Because legally,
It's sealed.
What you can tell is while wiped in the eyes of the mortal plane, they still happened. I will say that's easy enough. There's not like in Saint Jack that stuff you did when you were younger is on there. But of course, like, it might not be as bad because as long as you say, like, don't charge me for it, I was a minor, or hey, like, as a fairy, like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, there could be ways around it, but these are very comprehensive lists.
so okay.
That is very
Can
interesting.
I separate myself from the group? Like, not like by a long shot. I want to see them still.
Just walk away.
But I want to, like, from the hustle and bustle of people walking around, I just want to hear if there's, like, one name that keeps coming up as far as, like, legal representation.
Go ahead and make that perception check. Start listening
Make
in.
you invisible so you can listen in better.
Invisibility would give you advantage because you could, like, walk right up to conversation.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
really clever.
heck yeah. What was it?
Perception, yeah.
23.
Nice.
Mr. Incredible. Listening into conversation.
Holy
What
crap,
you
I just
notice,
realized.
in a good way,
Mhm.
there is not one name that comes out. You are hearing names of devils, demons, and fiend in a cacophony of voices. You are hearing, though, voices of angelic beings. You are hearing voices of dwarven and elf. There is no right or wrong lawyer. And what you hear, I'll say with a 23, and maybe this kind of comes from the agency, your lawyer can be picked by you from any plane. That you can have anyone you want to represent you legally. There's no, like, even though, like, we know of bars in the mortal plane, like, we have a bar, technically down here, there's no, like, legal way. If you want to say this person, I want them. I will give you this on 23. What you overhear is that they do not allow any godly being to represent specifically, and I'd say because you're a paladin too, you're listening in, if a god tries to represent a paladin that
It seems
is
a little
their
biased.
patron, that immediately could get thrown out in court. Whereas you could get people you know, like friends, that's fine. It's just any and all, like, once you've hit deity levels, they have to say no, just because that's a good basis of, like,
Can I do a history check? Who has the best history? I have a +11.
Oh.
Could I get Dubert?
I have +2.
Okay, so not
Here,
good.
Delbert.
you
Okay.
could get Delbert.
So
you
can
could
you
get,
guys help me think of who we know who would be the best? Because I think that Adam or Bell would
I'm
probably
also going to say,
be-
this is in a little
best.
DM way, you can get anyone.
Yeah, that's what
like,
I'm gathering.
You kind of
I'm
can
like,
ask
if
for
Merlin
any
weren't
lawyer.
crazy, I would say Merlin.
But like Adam or Bell?
No,
Delbert-
Right. So can
Delbert
we,
would suck. He can't talk his way out of anything.
So can I do a history check to see who out of everyone we know seems to be
trying to say, like, because you guys
Yeah.
have a lot of knowledge,
right?
both, like,
So
of
that's why I'm asking if I
in-game,
can have help
out-of-game.
because we're just thinking of like
sure,
everyone.
yeah, trying
Okay.
to narrow it down of, like, even though we could go anyone,
That's not bad.
who's the actual
Okay.
good options.
That's 27.
So, if we have someone in mind out of game, can we make a check to see if we would know about them in game?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you could just ask August if you know them. Because I was thinking like the dude who just
Oh.
kept on relocating
Okay, that's
Mr.
a good
Incredible's
idea.
family.
If I don't know this one, then I'll go with him.
I mean, that one would work. I'm trying to think of who else we know.
Okay. You ever
So-
seen the Mighty
yeah.
Ducks?
Yeah.
Yes! Oh my gosh, yes! That's Disney.
Gordon Bombay. Can I roll to see if I would know him?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you know who he's talking about?
I kind of do.
He's the
Unfortunately, it's
guy
been a long
who-
time.
He like spends no time at home because he wins all his cases.
He wins
Yeah.
all of his cases, and then when he's the guy who becomes the coach for
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks.
So that would it be history or
It's a history thing because you're trying to think of like lawyers that you don't already know too.
14?
Guys,
I can't get
Guys,
on
we
the
could,
fourth,
tech-
that's a little
we
too
could
low.
technically get Daredevil.
I mean,
If you really stretch
what's
it.
the name of
Do
that?
you-
Very stretched just because Marvel's one I've been very
Hey,
interested.
you can make Marvel
I
like
know.
you can make Marvel like one of the levels of heaven.
Marvel, the
hilarious.
MCU is heaven.
It's like the first
I
layer
mean,
of
I
heaven.
did get a 27
I
on
think
his.
I-
On a 27. Here's what we'll
His
get.
name
So
is Rick Dicker.
Rick Dicker,
That's
That's
horrible.
who
Mr.
I'm
Dicker,
gonna
I
pick.
forgot.
Mr. Dicker.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, Mr. Dicker, he's the best super lawyer.
Yeah.
Honestly, in Sumani.
Is there anyone else who we know
On
who
a
would be better?
27.
Sally from Cars is apparently a lawyer.
All
Here's
right,
what I'm
that's
gonna show you.
According to the wiki, Candace Flynn
yeah, she
is a
became
lawyer.
the lawyer.
Candace
Flynn.
Flynn.
But she was
from
a
Phineas and Ferb.
prosecutor.
From
Oh,
Phineas and Ferb.
I've never watched it.
She literally became a prosecutor.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I loved it.
So, here's what you know.
Rumpelstiltskin from
No.
what's
Okay.
its name?
Awning 27. Since it doesn't have to be a physical lawyer, it could just be whoever you think has your best shot.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna go through a lot of the sessions.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
More from the stories you've heard and from a lot.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of people
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah, of
You know
course.
Adam and Bell.
Yes.
But I'll say on a 27, well, Adam is in fact very good at knowing what he wants.
Yeah.
He's not great at being nice about it.
That's
Because
true.
with a lawyer, there is a certain level of nicety that at least must be present at some
Snow
point.
White?
Snow White could be very instrumental. I say this very lightly. There's a
Okay.
name I'm going to save for the end. On 27, you beat the
Uh-huh.
DC 26 for a
Yes.
list of names. I'll save one for the end. You know of people like Lily's father, Chief
that's
Domingo
true.
Falling Star.
Okay.
He's very wise.
Okay.
Agatha is.
I was thinking that, but she's crazy right now.
She's a little crazy, but you don't
Agatha?
know that.
Who?
Agatha.
Madam Mim.
Madam Mim.
Okay, that didn't
August?
help.
Fun fact.
Madam Mim from Sword in the
August,
Stone. She's
Ah,
also
okay.
She's the
the
person
enchantress
who-
from Beauty and the
Yeah,
Beast.
okay, okay, cool,
Yes.
cool,
I
cool.
would have known that because I
You
was with
Yeah,
them.
that's true.
yes.
Mhm.
You would know that. You know though, in terms of design, like just again
Yeah.
keep going through. There have
Isn't Scrooge
been.
McDuck a lawyer?
No.
Scrooge
No.
McDuck is not a
He's
lawyer.
a banker.
He is a
Oh,
banker.
that's it.
But he is tougher than the toughies and smarter than the
remember-
smarties.
That there was that really old knowledgeable genie you freed so long ago.
Oh.
But that's one. That would be a crapshoot because you don't know if he'd be a good lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that like, well, he knows that. There is, I say this as much sincerity as I can.
Uh-huh.
Someone who knows a lot, Santa Claus, who you've
That's
met.
true.
He's keeping
He
a
likes
list.
us.
He knows
'cause it's
whether
that,
we've
like,
been
thing
naughty
you're
or
like,
nice.
He really does know people. Like,
And he likes us.
and he does like you. You did him a huge solid freeing
Yeah.
him from the
Yeah, we
mines.
did.
That,
He gave me a
that,
really good present.
Magic strength.
that was a
Gigantic
he
strength.
he
That
helped
was
out.
cool.
Going through, again, I think that big one, Snow, just because again, being that head of
She
council
also
for so
is a
many
bard of
years,
eloquence.
having that literal just intuitive magic into it. You know, it could be a long shot if you need to. Arthur is a good king right now. He's trying his best,
No, I wouldn't go for Arthur.
Okay,
He's too young and innocent to come and help us.
and there hasn't been a
Hey
lot.
Arthur, can I get my
This
one
is-
call from
this is
jail?
what I'm
Hey
going to
Arthur,
give.
Okay.
I'm in the fourth layer of
Morph,
hell and
you
need
never
to
met
represent
this
me.
person.
Okay.
Thumbelina never met this person. Mr. Incredible, Jim, no one met this person. But you have heard that this was probably the most fair and just personage that has ever lived.
Mufasa.
That the Mufasa, the sovereign regent before Arthur, was insanely well known. Because
I
like
would have
it was that like
Okay.
people
He's
knew him
dead,
as
but
a
he's
fighter
the underworld.
second to his pure goodness and like ability to make fair choices.
I vote we.
This is basically King Solomon of Disney.
Yeah, it's that like this is one because it's that like thing.
Wasn't Prince of Egypt Disney?
Yes,
no,
it
it's DreamWorks.
No, DreamWorks.
I know.
God dang, I was so
You
excited.
can't actually have Moses. That would kind of break the game.
That'd be sick. The prophet of God.
Let the people
Right.
go.
Some people actually make a Bible version
We
of
can't bring in
D&D.
real gods. That would
Oh,
be
yeah,
insane
yeah.
or fake, whatever you
ridiculous. It actually
believe.
looks
But
really cool.
I don't know.
Okay, then
Okay,
I'm
I got
going.
Mufasa.
But yes, on
Yeah,
the 26th, it's one of those like old history names of Mufasa,
Yeah.
Mufasa.
Because we never heard
I want
about
Ben
Mufasa.
from Treasure Planet.
You want Ben?
I was gonna say he actually
Still
might be
pushing
pretty
back.
decent.
No, not Delbert. Ben.
Wait! I have my memories back. He's a fun character.
A mind
I
is a
love
terrible
Ben.
thing to lose.
Like, oh honey, I understand.
You guys, so, in kind of making this choice, you know, if you want this lawyer, you can go into this agency type place, find someone to help request him.
Alright. Then let's.
What do
So
we
yeah,
roll?
guys, have
Do we
Mufasa.
roll anything to find the right person to help us do that?
It's going to be a group investigation.
Okay.
Because like agency, if you get the wrong person to help you, they can be really rude or snarky.
Oh, nat 20.
This was doing it 20.
You say investigation, yeah?
Yeah.
29. Not natural.
1 second.
29.
So
We
Kronk got
walk
a
in there
7.
and Mufasa's already there.
Yeah, like natural 20.
He's already
29,
helping. No.
Whatever y'all got.
He's already got our cases prepared.
12.
12.
It's okay, we're picking up
Investigation.
Yes.
What would you say a really high number would be?
Like
Like, would you say 30 is a really high number? Because I got a 31.
Nice. Dude,
Um,
that's dope.
you see,
Thumbling is just like, you guys
yeah,
are
Kronk
so
got a
good
7.
at this.
as Jim and Mr. Incredible immediately scanning, you pick him out for in
Wow,
that
I thought
perfect
29
natural. Your
was
eyes
good.
just
That's only
land,
30.
and you see a goblin man in a beautiful white suit.
Wait. Does anyone here have the ability to cast, like, an illusion on someone?
On someone?
Yeah, can we, like, put Kronk in a suit? Because he's really persuasive. And if he looked, like, legit, we could probably get some mileage out of this.
This
I
goblin,
have minor
he
illusion,
has
but
a
yeah.
light halo above his head. It doesn't seem like material, like it almost looks
Like
very
he's
translucent.
angelic.
But this looks like an angel with a Heavenly Lawyers Incorporated sign next to him. And so you know that might be the best way to find someone who probably went to heaven,
Yeah.
or you know at least to like a better higher plane would be found.
Okay.
This is gonna be so cool.
So,
you guys.
so me and Kronk will approach.
Yes.
Yeah, my persuasion
So me-
is only a +8.
So Kronk is a +10. Kronk is a persuasive boy, and I have a +10 to deception.
What do you say to this person? You see.
Maybe don't like the lawyer.
Hey, it's
Oh.
okay, but like, anyways, so we come up and I'm trying to look as spiffy as I can.
Okay, I
Kronk
got
is
this, I
also,
got this.
you know, and he goes,
Yes.
hello. So we're new here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Can I
And
turn
you
into a badge that says very
seem
trusted?
like a very
No,
respectable
trust is
fellow
just something
that
good.
could help us out.
Yes. Lawyering up. You
Yes,
got
sir.
served. Do you have your paperwork?
Yes. Kronk here. He's really looking for someone good to help out his friends here. And Kronk would be like, "Oh yes, yeah." Wait, that's not a Kronk. Kronk.
I'm looking for some legal defense.
Yeah.
He's
Looking
so
for
good at this.
some legal defense.
As you, this guy. Alrighty. Can I have your paperwork? We'll put that into a. Is this a group
Yes.
Yeah.
order? Yes. Alrighty. Yeah. Go ahead. Just he gives you a little manila package. Just like go ahead, put everything in there. We're just gonna make sure. We'll start. You see, he
So
goes
I'll-
over
I'll
typing away.
I'll message to Hook and be like, "Hook, save your second for last,
You know, it's just like, yeah.
and then we'll do Kronk's last."
Gotcha.
And we'll just make sure the group knows that. So it's like, okay, fairly normal. Oh my goodness. And then, oh, Okay.
slip in one piece. Yes. You see just, all right, yeah, we can get you. We have some great persons to choose from. Do you have anyone that you would
Kronk will
like?
be yeah, Kronk will be like, so, Mufasa.
You see, all right. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we will get this sorted out.
Wait. Can Kronk have his shoulder angel be his...
Oh my gosh! Can I turn into the little shoulder angel, or is it actually
You guys
visible?
don't know though. That's the best part.
but
Yeah,
he
that's
was
just in his
just-
head.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was actually
No, it was
showing.
a joke.
No,
It was a joke.
it's a joke thing. As you
Watch us
type
find
stuff
out that
though,
he's actually been a warlock this whole time, and those are his patrons.
Kronk has just been like messing with you all. You see just that little.
You
Alrighty.
haven't noticed yet. but he's
One
casting Eldritch Blast
Mufasa.
every game.
Do you have? Is this someone who is alive, deceased, material, incorporeal,
Deceased.
deceased? Okay, we'll put in
Killed by Adam, the current king of the zone.
deceased.
Sort of.
Killed by what? Who?
Adam.
Killed by Adam while possessed by
Adam France.
crap. What's his name?
All
Sean Yu,
right.
right? It was Sean Yu who was
I
possessing
think I
Adam.
got it. Yes, Old Sovereign Regent on the mortal plane. We can give him a call. We'll see if this works out.
We're
Okay,
friends
wait.
with Adam. Tell him that. Tell him that. We're friends with Adam. He likes that.
Yes. Friends with Adam, and like name all the other people who are like kind of close to
All
him.
the
That weird.
Imagineers.
Yes!
Who do we got? We got.
We are Imagineers.
We are.
Rapunzel.
That's
Fun
true.
fact: Jasmine would be very helpful because she knew Mufasa
That's
personally.
true.
It's great. I love it.
And friends with Jasmine and
Jasmine and
Adam and Belle and
Rapunzel
Rapunzel and all
Meg
of
and
them.
Merida. Like
We-
kind of
Morph
These
the
are our
Imagineer.
reference.
more. You actually see as this guy.
Jim Hawkins, who helped save all of Dizania.
Is that who I put down? Are we putting? Is this like an Imagineers? Are we putting you on like a title label?
Yes.
Yes.
Imagineers.
Yes.
All right. We'll put you under an Imagineers versus. All right. You see, he actually
awesome.
becomes completely translucent for about 2 minutes, which you can tell might be
Do we
either.
hear like holding music?
You do. It's a slight little elevator.
I was waiting for something from Smith. Yeah, like,
Wait, I actually have Disney elevator music.
are you serious?
Or at least something that I've been wanting to use for a while. So,
Dude, that's awesome.
Anyways, yeah. So those are my mini.
Those are so cool. Is this
light
Gandalf?
piano.
Because it looks like it.
As
It's awesome.
this man, he like kind of freezes in place, just like staring at, very translucent.
Sorry,
As
the game is
he
lagging.
either is not here, or was never here, and maybe this was just a projection down. Either way, something's on. As you sit and wait, there are chairs, places in front to sit.
I'm furiously going over my paperwork.
Looking at the paperwork still.
Same.
Wait, didn't we give it to him?
Yes, it's in the middle of the
Oh,
pack right
dang
now.
it.
He has it right now, just as he's got to have it all together to like kind of give as a. Here comes the big roll. Let's see if you get Mufasa. You're on hold right now, as the
We have
Goblin Man
Disney
is
elevator
translucent and probably talking to someone in a mortal higher plane. All right, and
See, why don't we have a cleric?
Okay.
They could do some actual communication with their deity. We don't have paladins.
after a moment, you guys see coming back into that like movement and like body's now physical again. Just all right, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to follow me, you have been picked up, it seems, by the Mr. Mufasa. He'll be meeting
This guy
with
better be
you
good.
in antechamber.
From what I hear.
He lists off just a little abyssal thing real quick. And he will be seeing you at your convenience. So it's going to be, and he gives you just those quick directions like 2 buildings down, find this door, go up this hallway.
Alright, let's go.
Like,
This will be cool. Actually.
gives you the manila folder back. You see it now has a light angelic halo with the HLI with the Heavenly Lords Incorporated under it.
can I like open up the packet and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna like go over some people's paperwork here, just see what we're
You're
dealing
not
with,
looking at mine. Excuse me.
and just kind of like start going through Hooks.
You want to look through Hooks. Fun fact, Hook, when you say going through, he kind of puts an hand on your shoulder, just, don't look. I'll hold the paper. And he's going to take his packet.
No, that does not seem fair. I don't think any of us would let you look
Yeah,
at
I'd like, it sounded like Hook would be that instigator, but yeah, you can each all take it back. They just needed it
Fair
for
enough,
like
fair
a,
enough.
make sure Mufasa can
going
look
to-
over it all.
If I'm allowed, I'm gonna rest on Jim's head and I'm gonna be rifling through my papers.
Turn into a little hat.
a
But yes,
hat wearing a hat.
hat wearing a hat.
You should turn into a bookmark and then just slip into each of the pages.
Yes. No, I want to be a bookworm.
Bookworm, turn into a
Like
paper
from
clip.
Tinkerbell and the Secret of the Wings thing. Like
Clippy.
just
Full on like a worm that's shaped like a paperclip that just kind of. But yes, you guys can all take back your individual paperwork, your summonses, and you head to the room.
Someone saw that?
Upon entering, all of you see, first of all, this small antechamber, pretty big actually. But you see though, sitting in a golden light white suit, reddish hair, tabaxi face, sitting with what looks to be copies of all of yours, right? He's holding a packet that seems to be identical. Looking up, you see the kind eyes of Mufasa, the first king of Dizania.
First of all, and then they have to kill him off.
You see, he stands up and kind of just opens up, just, hello. You're the Imagineers.
Some of them, yes.
Technically,
He knighted the first ones.
I did.
Cool.
Wait, I was knighted. I am an Imagineer.
I
I am a knight of Dizania.
Yeah,
Yes.
Arthur, for you two specifically.
Like,
Like
holy crap, dude, we're like full on knights of
Thumbly, you got
Dizania.
the interim with Arthur when you guys were first, but like you don't know how binding it could be still.
Forgot about that because I've been so piratey lately.
But you see though, Mufasa actually gets a look in his eye. Just never could have imagined from my trip to that oracle long ago of what you'd all become.
Emily just starts crying.
You see
I don't know
Mufasa,
you, but you're making me cry.
He actually does still open out his arm. You see he actually comes and gives each of you a hug, and just say,
How
"It's a
does that
pleasure to
work?
meet you. It's a pleasure."
Does he
Um,
purr?
Would you turn into arms?
No, it's not like a purr.
I
It's
don't
more
know
like
what
that. Just like he has a very deep, low rumble. It feels like a voice hug.
We have to talk about who was it? Who was the voice of Mufasa? The same
James
guy.
Earl
James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
was,
it's like
Darth
James
Vader
Earl
too,
Jones
right? Yeah.
is
I
hugging
mean-
your ears.
Right, but you see, he takes. He's. Please, let's have a seat. I cannot begin to even try and imagine why the Imagineers would be in Tartarus, but I know it must be good reasons.
For most of us, yes.
Now,
Can I ask you a question, Mufasa?
of course, Robert,
I'll physically just.
because he had to learn your like real true name. So,
Yeah.
but you see, just yes, of course.
We had a friend here a little while ago. I think you have her paperwork. I was just wondering if you knew where she was.
Yeah, Jasmine.
You see, just yes, one Jasmine of Agrabah, one of my first Imagineers. That is something I do not know. As far as I was told by your agency, that magically she should still be on the plane. Otherwise, alarms would have sounded. But not all seems lost. She might join us soon. As you see just now, here's what I will say. I had some time to look over your paperwork. Heavenly time moves much faster than Tartarus. Each of you must know you are good people.
Well, that means a lot coming from Mufasa.
You carry the name of Imagineer and Hero, and I mean that with great weight.
Where's Hook during this
You
conversation?
see, Mufasa nodded at Hook.
Whoa.
You see, though, Mufasa, that being said, it will be my responsibility and yours to make sure that in the eyes of this court, they also see this. As this is not a court of morality. That is one thing you each must choose, how you wish to be judged. There's a difference between how one would judge a demon in its life versus how one would judge a hero. That a monster's goals conflict strongly with ours, but that is the nature of life. That we all have our responsibilities. So, here's my first ask. Do you all wish to be judged in the sight of a hero, of a mortal person, or is there a different court you would want to use?
What are the court options again?
The court options, you could be judged as, think like, you could be judged as a fae, full fairy court style, which would be very interesting, but it could be being judged as a human, being judged as a fiend, being judged as a celestial, being judged. There's a lot of ways you can choose. It's like, there are stuff that's very common. Mufasa would explain things like crimes against personages. That's very universal, no matter what you are. But like, one of the things you have to choose is the crimes of morality. What is considered to be moral or just. That can vary for a lot of things.
Yeah, because a demon is expected to fulfill its purpose, just as a dog would be expected to fulfill its purpose, kind of thing. They're going to be judged differently.
Right, so
Exactly.
a demon wouldn't be judged as fae by any means. That'd be stupid.
I honestly have no idea. So, can I ask Mufasa, like, well, I'm going to ask Mufasa.
Am I legally?
Yeah, right?
Well, I'm not sure how to be judged because people in general don't like changelings is the problem. And
If you get judged
I'm
as
a weird changeling.
you get judged as a changeling, are you judged on how well you change shape?
Because I do that a lot.
You see, he
I
could
can
say,
do that.
we could provide to the court being judged as a mortal hero does help with a lot of charges, specifically those involving anything of monstrous definition.
Oh, we killed a lot of bad guys.
Or looting of ancient places?
Yes, a lot of being a hero. If you're trying to claim yourself as a hero, you Mufasa would even explain. Finding treasures, destroying monsters. That suddenly almost is gone. It's not like perfect. I mean, they might still have to talk about it, but it's that like, oh,
I'm trying to think.
you killed
So a mortal adventuring hero.
yes.
I think Nicholas is overthinking this. I think Bob would hear hero, and you know that scene from like Sky High?
Yeah.
He'd be like, hero!
Like, yes, that's
Right.
me.
You see Mufasa
That's awesome.
takes a claw, dips it in like a golden, just kind of like, yes, as a hero.
I mean, for you, that makes absolute sense.
Yes.
That's all you've ever been perceived as a hero.
But are
And
you
now
though?
a traveling entertainer.
But still under the same thought
He's just,
process as hero.
He's just establishing his brand.
Still
in
under
every
hero.
point.
Yes.
Okay.
But
So-
you see, just he kind of looks just.
Well, you can go first. It's fine.
Okay.
Unless you
Well,
have
no. Go ahead.
Okay. My life has been a little more complicated than some.
Yes, it has.
So
That's
I would
okay.
eventually like to reclaim my birthright. So legally, do I go with Petalbud and deal with the charges with the fairy court? Because that's probably the best way Petalbud would be represented. Or do I go with Thumbelina as a hero? Because that's how Thumbelina has lived her life. I've had two different lives here.
You've lived two very different lives, Thumbelina.
Right, and as Petalbud, and if I were to choose Thumbelina, can I then go back and be Petalbud, or would I then legally be Thumbelina and have to put everything of Petalbud aside?
Would you like my opinion?
Yes, please.
I think you can be Petalbud the hero and Thumbelina the fae.
Oh, both.
If your family is important to you and the charges brought up are unfair, to keep the best chance of you reclaiming what is yours, we should not claim you as just Thumbelina. That would, in essence, exile you almost permanently.
But, like, there's pretty strong evidence that you weren't the one that actually did those things. Like, case in point, the dragon we fought over the castle.
My sister? What?
You see,
yeah.
and Mufasa is like, yes,
Yeah.
there is evidence, and it is something where
So,
being true to yourself will give you the best advantage here.
Okay.
Can
So,
I-
go. Sorry.
Can I do an insight on that? I want to know if they're going to cast a zone of truth on us or something like that in the courtroom.
Yeah, go for it.
so if I go with the hero option, I've stolen a couple ships in my lifetime, okay? But, like, I feel like they were for fairly justified reasons.
And that's what we can present.
Okay. Cool.
That the justifications of being a hero outweighs the marks against any of you.
Now, I am captain of a pirate crew. But we're, like, good pirates? We mostly pirate other pirates?
It's a lot to think about.
Jake,
See, Mufasa, very honestly, just
I love that show.
if I had to be completely honest,
Obsessed with that one.
it would be tough.
A dragon that everyone fights in is
But
teaches like something
unfortunately, no other court
Pirate
system
never steals anyone else's
would be
stuff.
able to swing it,
Is what they teach
if
in
not
Nurse
one of a
Lydia
hero,
Williams.
of a mortal
Yes.
hero.
Okay. Because I felt like I've used it for fairly good reasons. And as far as I've been in control, we haven't done anything I would even say is bad. But we have fought pirates. And, well, there was also the intergalactic British Empire. But, like, they attacked us.
That is an institution of mortality, though, that we can bring charges against. They have their own. Again, it gets into the mortality.
Yeah,
of certain-
they were doing the whole colonialization thing. And I was
laws and regulations must vary based on geographical and universal location.
True.
Without that, we would be lost. Yes, we
So-
can work with that.
So I don't feel like much of a hero. Like I've been doing my
See,
thing.
Mufasa, he puts up it.
So like what in your legal opinion?
In my legal opinion, I think means nothing, as I don't think I am even a good and perfect representation of what should be legal and just.
Oh, he's so good.
But I think, based on you, James, you are a hero and truly want what's best for your friends and families. Do you believe this?
Yeah.
Then we
Yeah,
shall make
okay,
them
that makes
believe it
sense.
too.
Cool.
So you write that down.
Also,
Okay.
I do not want to bring up charges for the destruction of my board against Thumbelina. In this case.
You
That would be
being
a different
being an
case.
active person, you could drop those charges. Yes.
Yes, I would.
Honestly, it was for the greater good.
No, it really wasn't.
You see,
Remember
Mufasa
what happened.
raises the pot, and you can drop, and so you can both be friends. Isn't that just
I
very
messaged you.
I got a 10 on the inside.
10 on the inside?
Dang.
Right.
We might.
Just because it's that, like, it might not be the whole time, but there would be points of like, hey, if we can magically just make sure people can't lie, it's going to be really helpful.
Yeah.
So with that message, Morph,
I can't even remember why I destroyed it. Like, honestly, I know it's like.
you were stopping Jim from
You
getting
have to
something.
No.
Understand
Oh, for-
how much has happened since that
I know,
particular
I know.
that particular day. I kind of remember destroying your board, but honestly, me as a player, I'm like,
It's okay. So what happened is like you had the diamond.
I was all about the diamonds.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're not mad at me for
You had the diamond, and Silver was on my board, and Silver was just moving towards you, and you're like,
acid
Oh.
splash to the board.
let's just destroy the board.
Yeah, you aimed for
Instead
the
of,
board
I
instead
don't know,
silver.
fly away.
Well, I think my thought process was if I destroy the board, he will for sure fall. However, if you hit him, there's no guarantee he will fall.
That was even that.
Okay,
People are not replaceable in this game.
Well, it's like okay, this.
Guys,
It's like,
if you bring him back as a demon,
Sorry.
but no, that's like if I went up to your
I
ring
just
and was like,
believe in
if I destroy the
recycling.
ring.
Recycling.
There would be, I would still be
I
angry.
mean, my
but
body's
thought
being
of
recycled.
What was the reason behind destroying the ring? Was it out
feel
of
like the
malice?
reason. I don't feel like the reason of destroying the board was good enough.
It was not out of malice though. It was
No.
out of trying to
No,
save.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
It's just that Jim will never.
Jim will
be
never
okay with
forgive
it.
Thumbelina for that, but honestly, like.
Thumbelina just doesn't
really
fucking
good.
care.
No.
She's just like I.
And that's why he won't forgive.
Like the thing. It was a cool thing, but at the same time, like, we could wish for it back if we wanted to.
if
Are you willing
if
to spend a
that
wish spell
helps.
for
I
that?
don't have a wish spell.
Oh,
Just
sorry. My mom texted me, and I was just.
oh, I thought you were looking. I'm like, well, yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, that was a lot.
So I would ask Mufasa.
Yes.
So if I want to be trialed as, presented as both, like you're saying, who do I friggin' pick on my paperwork?
You check both boxes?
Interesting.
No
Can I
kidding.
check both?
You see, he said, yes, you could be Petal Bud. It's legally that you go by Thumbelina, and that you wish to have your records united in one under what we could say a hero of the court of Fae.
I like that. Let's do it.
Excellent. So I think it's that hero, Fae, hero.
I'll go as what Mufasa suggests.
And he would suggest hero.
Okay, cool.
He says he believes you are all heroes,
And then
after looking at your whole lives,
Mufasa should be a
he
life coach.
truly believes.
Honestly,
And then
just
Kronk,
bring it back all the
like
time.
Kronk, actually, you see, Mufasa says, we will start with Kronk because that will set the good precedence.
That is
such
fair.
a good guy.
We have only one real thing
I
to
seriously hope
focus
that
on with
Sword
Kronk,
picks Kronk,
and
because
it's
he's such a good
the
guy.
aiding and abetting and kidnapping under Yzma, but of course, being a hero, being misled, we can easily win.
And-
He's just gonna be completely pure of anything.
We
But
can
he's like
we
Kronk.
can
I
very
accidentally
quickly
poisoned my party
get
because
through that.
something
Yeah.
poisoned my spinach.
I'm
puffs.
actually going to quickly run
I
to the
burned the
bathroom.
spinach puffs. He's gonna be like, that is my
And
greatest
now
sin. I have
we
burnt
get to
my
play.
spinach puffs. Oh, that's gonna be.
I'm gonna make some popcorn. Is anybody ready?
sure.
I'm like,
I
I saw the
realized
popcorn.
so I made beef stew for my whole dang family right before I came here.
good for you.
And it was funny because I just barely finished it, so I didn't even eat any. And my mom was like, "Oh, are you gonna get a headache or something?" Like, no, I ate. I
I
ate.
didn't eat.
Oh my gosh, I haven't eaten anything today. I'm like,
Oh,
can you save some soup for me?
well, good for you for cooking. Are you living at home right now?
No, I'm actually living at Blythe and Erica's until April 1st is when I move into my new apartment.
Oh, cool.
So
New apartment. Did you graduate?
no, for reasons that for things.
Shall remain unknown.
Yeah, there are just certain very difficult social things that make it really hard for me to be around people I don't know. There's an incident that happened a couple years ago, and it's a lot more damaging than I thought it would be.
Girl,
So,
I've had I've been abused by people. I understand.
All over.
So
It's
it's
actually,
okay.
can
I'm on
you
my
hand
way.
me
Let's
that
for therapy
soap,
now. It's
the
gonna be
brown
great.
soap. I just realized I didn't refill that one, and so I'm just gonna
Fail on his failure.
I know. Well, no, I was like looking at.
We have it on record that he didn't wash his hands.
Wait, did he not?
I mean,
Do it
I
'cause
like
you
got the
wanted to
soap
soak
out of
it
there.
here.
It
Oh,
was
I
running
see.
out. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't even get it.
I'm
Like, 2
so
drops
sorry.
out,
I
so
hate it
like-
when that happens.
No, you're good. It was just.
See, that's the thing with guys. We have to use more soap because our hands are bigger.
And tougher.
That face.
What is with that face? I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
That's
Oh,
his
no.
weird face. When we were dating,
You
he'd
act
make
as if
that.
that's the only weird face he has.
He's got lots of weird faces,
Yes,
but like
dude.
he made that one a lot when we were first dating.
It gets
Alright.
the girls.
It worked.
That's the face.
It worked,
that
didn't
really
it?
seduced her.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
say it
I think
didn't.
he's like all
The
like
Goyles.
suave and like manly. Oh my gosh.
known him for how
yeah.
long? We know what
We
he's
know
like.
he's really weird.
You guys only
So,
know part of it.
Ladies and
That's
gentlemen, Mufasa has put this all down.
Okay, well, Captain Hook.
Yeah, what does Captain
Yes,
Hook get
you
trial
see, Hook has been very quiet.
This is
As
gonna be
Mufasa
awkward.
turns to him, Hook asks if they can have a sidebar in
Yeah.
private.
I don't blame him.
I actually don't want
Could
to
he
listen
be
to this.
tried as an anti-hero now?
It's something where he goes talks
Or would he
with
be like a morale?
Mufasa. It lasts a couple minutes because they just kind of like walk out of the room, and while you guys have your paper, Mufasa is giving you things to be like, hey, maybe look at this. Like, let's start talking about like
Yeah,
some
for
of your
sure.
earlier years, Morph about like some of your abjure of magic, how you were. Mr. Incredible, maybe like, because again, you do have to bring like the good stuff to this party, so to speak, too. Because this doesn't have any of the good stuff. This is a pure, just like, hey, we found bad stuff.
Would he be more like the moral part of it versus the hero, but like based off of his personal morality? So he did everything based off of his.
I think
the
that's
way
probably
he
what they're
thinks.
going to be talking about.
Yeah.
As Mufasa and Hook come back in after a few moments, Mufasa actually gives a little weird look. Jim, you can try to give me an insight if you'd like.
Oh yeah, Jim's great at those.
Yeah, of course. Because you
Is that
see, like,
sarcasm?
as Hook's more just like that very stone face that he's kind of gotten good at over the past couple days with you guys. Just like no emotion,
Hey,
just
I've
like
grown to like Hook.
yeah. And so it's trying to figure out like what's going on.
It was investigation.
Insight.
Are you sure it wasn't investigation?
It's an insight because you're trying. 11.
I think it's funny how he
Mufasa
dislikes all the morally
seems
great
very-
people. He just collects them, except for Kronk.
Mufasa is
Oh,
very
Jim.
pensive
Yeah.
right now. Probably, and yeah, I mean, his rap sheet is probably as big as all yours combined. There's a lot.
Shoot.
But you
Yeah.
see, he
was
just
not
nods.
very nice to the Fae.
He's not nice to the Fae, to Peter, the Neverlandians,
He's fey racist.
racist.
Racist?
He just
Jake,
wanted
the
things from
Neverland
the
pirate?
Fae.
Yeah, he's technically after though, of course, canonically.
Yeah.
Jake and the Neverland Pirates do not exist yet. But they
Yet.
will. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
That was a fun show.
You could
I
have
love
a
that
party of like little kids play D&D and they could be Jake and the Neverland
Or
Pirates.
I
Sophia
don't
the
think-
First,
I have a
stuffing, like all
full-
those Disney Junior things.
I have ideas for how I would run this.
No,
with kids.
that's the first
Like-
layer of heaven. Disney Junior.
Anywho,
I'm sorry. I love Disney Junior.
Mufasa has given. You see, Hook stuff has been signed up. All your guys signed. You see, he takes his like. We can only hope that the Sultana will appear, but that is her choice to make. Legally,
Doesn't
she
she
has
have
to.
10 years? We were told we have 10 years to show up, so...
You're going to be here for a
Okay,
little
good.
while.
But she
I'm
also
just
has
kidding.
to show she cannot leave the plane.
She can't leave
That's
the plane.
true.
Yeah,
But as long as she
so-
doesn't leave, she has 10 years to make it to
Right. So
to
even
court.
if she were to like, even if we were to leave without her, she would still have to go through
Yeah.
the whole
You see,
process.
so Mufasa takes this and says, "Now, are we all ready for the court?"
Sure.
You see, Mufasa says, "Here is how I would like to approach. We start with Kronk, then you try and move into Mr. Incredible. Yours might be tough, so I think that's one we want to tackle. Then we will morph. We'll try and defend you. After morph, we will then have Thumbelina.
You can use the
We're
ball.
going to
I'm gonna
ramp our
share
way
with her.
up.
Okay.
And then you guys can share
Yes.
for that.
Can I ask Mufasa, do you know anything, like, is this one single judge? Is it a jury?
As far as we know, it is going to be a jury of peers. So it will be a jury of heroes.
Oh, cool.
That's so cool.
But
Like
there
dead
will
heroes?
be, you see, he does say is there are two judges that do have final say. While the peers, their decision will influence the judges, you guys have to work against Belial and Fierna, the twin lords of this realm.
Okay.
Okay.
It is something that when Asmodeus decreed it, it is usually not normal to have co-lords of a plane, but in balance, in good and evil, they are the ones to look for.
Just watch his pain and panic.
I'm gonna be so ticked.
Although, weren't they with... They were doing Meg.
They were in the Sunday campaign a couple
in
times.
this,
I hate them.
you guys though see, Mufasa picks you up just, yes, after Thumbelina, we will have Jim, we will then have Hook,
Oh, we're not doing Jasmine before Hook?
Jasmine we will
Isn't
see
here.
based on when we can find her, when she can come to the court. You see he then leads you all, stands up, and just it's like, there's no time like the present, especially after the review of your cases. There is someone who's very interested in your well-being and safety and moving quickly. One of my original Imagineers, Tiger Lily, is very interested in all of you doing well.
Is she in the
quick.
chat?
She'll be in the jury, won't she?
Possibly. Whereas a god cannot represent those accused, gods could be in the jury as
You know who else
heroes.
could be? Is the jury just people that have passed on?
No, actually, it is a big, because it's not like, hey, we gotta randomly select, and when you're alive, you have to be alive. Like in our world, when you're dealing with things that can summon from beyond the dead, yeah, you could totally get a real hero.
Yeah, Hercules could be.
Hercules, maybe?
That's super cool.
Here's
or maybe
what
like not Merida.
you guys
Merida or...
find. True heroes.
Watch as August rolls and he's like, so apparently we're gonna pull some from the Sunday group for this,
Yeah.
Judgment?
They just poop out.
Could you hand me my
like,
bag?
oh, that's where Dumbo's
I
been.
realize it's
The
just my
black
backpack. Yeah, I need my pencil.
Or Jasmine's on jury duty.
It's like,
That's where she actually
does
went.
that make sense?
Is
No.
that fair? No.
That's where she went.
Here we go.
I would like to know what the sword
shoot.
just feels about.
Oh, sorry. Zariel's feeling just like apprehensive.
Dario?
The sword of Zariel.
Oh, okay.
We need a name for the sword. Can I call you Zay?
Can't do it straight face. Interesting. Okay.
Oh. Wait, are you rolling for who makes up the jury?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Okay.
This is. I hope Jafar's not on this. I'm gonna be so ticked.
I feel like Jafar isn't a hero.
I know, but Hook is kind of a wild card in this.
So he
know
would
what
be
Hook
on
is
his
being
own.
tried.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, he
I
could
know.
be being
So
tried
I'm
as an
saying that we
anti-hero.
have no idea what kind of people are going. I will accept popcorn from two sources. I'm not choosy.
He's not wanting any, so I shouldn't.
My hands are small. I can only hold so much. I'd be so sad. Actually, this is on its way out the door anyway.
Oh, by the way, I got a dice tray from PGX.
I know, right? It's just like, what the heck? It was so funny. I love how they try to call it a desk organizer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, y'all are your D&D nerds.
How would you organize things on your desk in it?
I know, right?
It's a square one, but it's still just
Ooh.
like, what the heck?
It's
Could we
smaller
have
than a
chosen
piece of paper.
Alexander Hamilton?
Oh! That's
We could have.
freaking Disney!
We could have.
I feel like that would break it.
I feel like that would have been a
I don't wanna
harder
go
thing
back,
than
but,
even than like the Mighty Ducks. Like, it's not like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's Disney, but like even in this world, I don't think
Yeah.
Alexander exists yet.
that's fair.
So you're saying one of us needs to sail across the ocean and hit America?
So here's what's interesting.
Alexander Hamilton.
Hamilton.
My name is Alexander Hamilton. Where's your family from?
And so, because this is not a big jury, because again, this is not like our world where you find a jury of 12. Since again, the jury technically isn't the final decision.
Yeah, it's just more like, we influence your decision, but really you get to say whatever you want.
So here's what we're doing.
Thanks.
Interesting.
You can't be without popcorn.
I I do love popcorn. Popcorn is amazing.
I would eat a whole bag
Oh,
of
that is so
popcorn as a
greasy. Oh my
snack.
goodness.
Yeah.
There are,
It's really buttery.
entering the court, you see, first of all, it is packed with reporters, demons. You actually see what
apparently we're
definitely
very
seems to be gambling. Like, because you see people like
People are
whispering,
betting
pointing,
on
I'm
the
like
results.
writing pieces of paper, passing back
I
and forth.
love that.
Is that moral in the eyes of the law? Who knows? They're demons. That might
Wait,
be
do we
something they have to do.
recognize any people in the crowd?
This is what I was gonna say. In the crowd, no. That's just obvious. Like these are people you've never seen before.
Can I? Never mind.
In
Like,
the
is that
jury,
someone that? No,
you
never.
see
No.
there are four chairs that are open on a side that would seem to be the jury. In front of you all, though, there is a large,
Wow, that is so messy.
two demonic-looking creatures. You see that, there we go. Sorry, I thought I had,
That's a great idea. I'll go for that one.
both seem to look like your classic tieflings. You see that one seems to be
You're good.
more male presenting, one seems female presenting, but both have horns, more slicked back hair, kind of like Despotter. Honestly, besides Waternoose, who you guys just kind of killed, the Devil Lords have been appearing pretty humanoid in that sense.
Before we go in, Morph, you have the cleaning spell, right?
Yes, I do.
Could you
Prestidigitation.
keep me clean?
Yep, I will.
I'd say, yeah, Mufasa, make sure everyone gets a quick once
Yeah,
over.
everybody has to look their best.
I want to be dressed in the
Ooh, yes.
the suit from the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
wearing.
Yeah.
I'm just wearing my super suit.
Wearing your super suit.
Naturally. It's
Cool.
an Edna mode.
You got that more
Yeah.
because you did graduate from Naval Academy. You did do that. So, looking through, the chairs are open, but the two judges are here. As you see, these judges watch you approach as Mufasa takes his seat. As you see, the defense have arrived. You see the woman, Fiona, who Mufasa would just kind of whisper that. Fiona, the defense arrived. Belial speaks. Is the prosecutor present for this said case? As you hear, present and waiting, Your Honors. Flaming hair, little black suit,
Oh my god.
bluish purple tie. The tie seems to roil with flame. It actually seems to produce heat. As you see, Hades walks down the aisle, kind of glinting, as he sees you all. As Belly and Fiona start into what sound like official proceedings of, all right, you see Hades does, just like, when I heard you had made it to the fourth layer, you don't think I was going to pass up an opportunity to see you all fail. Justice.
So
I'm really
internally, I'm not going to say this out loud. Why would Hades want us to fail?
You're not sure. This is something that, as far as you knew, the plan was, like, get them through, kill the Devil Lords. But you see, it is that, like, he is excited that you guys are on trial. As he sits back, again, just a lot of legal jargon that Belial and Fiona go through. Eventually you see just, all right, will the defense present their legal cases? You see Mufasa does stand, just, Your Honors. Hello.
Hello,
You
Megan.
can put your stuff away, and you're going to be interested in what comes in a second.
Yeah,
Don't worry, traveler.
Nothing yet.
Everyone has died.
Jasmine gets to learn this later. Or in a moment, I should say. You do see, though, that these would all like to be tried under the court of a hero, of a mortal champion. Thumbelina would like to have the Court of Fae for her justice system for this trial. The others will be presented forth in manner of hero of mortal heroes. You see Belial and Fiera do just each give that nod, and you see like a small little like floating red demon beside them, just like frantically writing. You actually watch. He writes, or this demon is writing so fast that its arm just becomes a bloody stump after a while, and just pauses. His hand regenerates, and then just writing. As he is writing, it sounds like anything. Like Mr. Incredible, you even test it. You turn your head to the left, and he looks at you. Turn your head to the left. So literally every physical possible chronological writes it down. So everything is recorded in this room.
I really want to just keep on shape-shifting.
Hand stops it, regrows, goes back to right.
They're very thorough.
As this is all happening, you do see Belial and Fiona just. But
It's been a really long day. So.
in the case with you see they look at the Imagineers in Tartarus, there is another, and we are going to cut. As you guys first tumble in, Morph, you are casting all their speedy career. You guys are putting in. Jasmine, you hear Raj's voice just like, "Don't be alarmed, but we're fucked."
In what way this time?
Look down. You are invisible. As you see, you look, but you can still see Raja. As he just, follow me. He leads you away.
Do I need to make like a stealth check or something?
No, this is something that, again, because stuff was happening, you had just kind of naturally left. Glassy obsidian floor, as you see multiple different court buildings, some that look Grecian, modern, Fayish, right in their bramble. But as you move with Raja is moving and looking very nervous. Tail is flicking a lot as he looks back and forth. As he leads you over to go far enough out, the obsidian glass stone floor cuts off and is an expanse of nothingness. Looking out, you see volcano and ash far around, but again, this air here seems so clear that this is a eye of a hurricane of however large this plane could be, that the true nature of it has been pushed aside for a place of order in hell. Raja looks just... I don't remember much, but if what Mr. Incredible was saying is true, we were charmed and are now in the fourth layer. I wasn't
so we're fucked.
We are now on trial. We have been... They are going to serve us soon.
Oh, that's
and
really not
they
good.
try everything. Did you ever spit at a kid when you were 5? On the list. Did you ever ask for a second portion and then steal a spoon? On the list. Did you ever kill? Ever? On the list.
So we need to somehow sneak out of this layer before we can get tried?
But you turn around. Raja whips and you see with the party far in the distance a demon has appeared, thrown a packet on the ground, and slowly erupts into flames. Not fast, but again, just slow fast until he burns away into nothingness. So Raja, well, that was the plan. Now it is not the plan. You see,
now the plan is to kill the judge before we get tried?
I love
Possibly.
Jasmine.
It would throw this plane into chaos, but hey, we've done
It's
it
Tartarus.
twice.
It's supposed to be chaotic,
We've
right?
done it 3 times already. I can't get tried.
Yeah, no. I'm there.
There's no. You would get a trial.
Oh.
I would get an immediate death sentence.
Okay, so still not an option. Yes.
Here's my idea. And this is actually, it's going to take some time because Raja's going to try to workshop, like, what to do. Okay, they're going by normal court standards, you're going to have a 10-year grace period to appear. But if you leave the plane of existence, that is grounds for infraction and arrest and a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't go, we can't hide forever. They are constantly moving because there are like even on this like far out like of this kind of dais thing, demons and Pearsons are appearing everywhere, like heading to court. You see, we could pretend you have amnesia and get you tried as a new person. Does your friend have reincarnation? We could kill you, reincarnate you, and just give you a new identity.
I don't think she knows how to do that. Amnesia could work, unless they can magically tell that I still have my memories.
No, so yes, we would have to wipe your memories, but, hey, that's better than being tried.
Except, tried or not, we're still going to have to fight our way out of this level, and I'd be useless without my memories.
Oh, that's true, that's fair. This goes on for a while.
Is the Devil Lord in charge of this plane
Lords.
going to be present?
Plural.
Multiple.
Plural.
How many?
2.
Are they both going to be present at this trial thing?
They should be.
Can we all just show up and attack them in the middle of our trial?
Yes, and then we die. Everyone goes to these trials. This is entertainment for devils and demons.
Right, so surrounded.
Nothing's funnier than a court of order for Tartars. Absolute surrounding. After a while, you see the rest of your party has started walking towards a building that Raja would quickly go, they're lawyering up. Okay, they're doing that. How fast do you think legally you could renounce the Imagineers? If we get you disbanded, have you ever been officially claimed as Imagineer?
Yes.
You see, Raja is just not doing good. This time,
Is there any commotion big enough that we could cause that would, like, lure the Devil Lords out of a stronghold?
surprise witnesses?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they go for. I mean, if you really just shock the courtrooms, then if they have to leave and convene for something, and you call for an absence of judge, and we just scat.
Could that work?
Possibly. Who do you think you know who's surprising enough? After a while, I'll say, because Raja...
Can I, like, roll a history check to see if I can think of anyone who would be surprising enough?
Raja would move you close enough, because after a while, you notice that they don't come out of the lawyer building.
Mm-hmm.
And Raja would just be like, they're moving down the halls with something celestial. Okay, they lawyered with the celestial.
I'm sorry, I just can't wait until you find out who. It's gonna be interesting.
You see, just... Okay, so...
They didn't contact Tiger Lily.
No, you can't have a god represent you
Okay,
in the
well, you
defense.
said Celestial, and
Well, yes, but
surprising, and...
then that lumbering idiot Krong could ask for Demeter's help, and they don't allow gods to represent, especially because of that case of interest. Gods can't defend someone. They can be on the...
Lily's a god?
Technically, Tiger Lily's a minor goddess, which would...
I think I know who's with you guys, but it's complete metagaming. So
We'll see. You see, just so we just ride out the trial, and if we see an opening, stab, call surprise, if we can get them out of the courtroom big enough, something that they could deliberate, we quickly just pretend, call for then a dropped charge, we lie, which is then another charge, but then no one would care because we could slip out, because legally they left and someone called for... By the barest loophole, we could say, gotta go, they said no, even if it's not true. Maybe. You see...
Yeah, or like, is getting judges to
He's
recuse
not good under this
themselves
kind of
still a thing? Like, they can't judge us objectively because we're murdering Devil Lords.
Yes, but that doesn't matter because they own the place.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's too subjective,
So that's not a lot here.
they would probably have to stay. You see, this whole time, Raja's eyes have been flickering from normal tiger to something dark and spaceless. and you actually see at times when he moves his arms, the fur does dissipate and become something almost brownish scaled, as he is, for the first time in a while, very rattled. Just because, again, he wasn't expecting to jump here, and that he was thinking, oh, we'll have a plan where we can, like, slip in, out, not have to be charged.
Thanks, Mr. Incredible.
Thanks, Mr. Incredible. You see, though, I'm going to make a roll. Do we follow them now, or do we let them just go after themselves and just hope no one talks to us?
How well could we stay hidden if we followed them from a distance? If we want to be in that courtroom when stuff goes down to see what they end up doing with these Devil Lords, like if they end up getting into a fight or not, can we spy on them without getting caught?
Possibly. The only thing is if they cast Siegfried's Hard Subpoena, we're then summoned. It's a spell. It's a lawyer spell you can cast to subpoena something. It's very brutal, actually. It hurts. So...
Sounds like he's had it happen to him before.
They're going to be... Let's be frank. They're going to be the cause of whatever goes to shit in the next day or so. I want to at least be close when that happens.
Yes.
I will try to stay hidden, but I want to stay close to them.
I'm gone. You can go. I will not.
You can find me when you need to.
Because again, I believe you see he knocks on the obsidian stone, but it's not like a knock. It's almost like a scratching, like claw thing that he does, but just that like scratch. The demon form of a knocking on wood, but you just. I've been clever enough to hopefully no one knows my true identity, and so they're not gonna charge a tiger.
Right. You can stay hidden like that easily.
Thank you.
I will feel more comfortable if I'm close enough to see whatever shit they're about to cause.
You see.
You can get back in touch when we figure out
excellent.
Where we're going from here.
Let's go find them then. They're moving fast.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I'm just gonna follow the party around invisible.
After a while, you find the party. After a while, walking to where they were before you get there, Raja just they're on the move again. Okay, they're okay. Wow, fast lawyer, they're ready. Okay. Oh, do you know how you want to be tried? They usually do that. If you want to go by a court of a demon, you could probably get by pretty easily. But I don't know. have you like eaten souls recently? Probably not. You have to choose your course.
Can I eat souls? Is that like a thing I can do?
Crimes of morality can vary based on anything. So it's how you would choose. Do you want to be a fiend, a fae, a mortal? But I don't know. They'd probably choose a heroic mortals. You guys are heroes, quote unquote. I don't know. Hard to get by with some of you.
Yeah, somehow I feel morally I'm closer to a demon than a hero.
That'd be rough, but possible.
You think I could pull it off?
You walk into a courtroom full of demons. As you see standing in front of you, the first thing, black suit and flaming blue hair.
Megan called it. Jasmine had no clue.
Right.
Your Honor.
Right. Total metagame.
Your Honors.
Wait, can I ask for Raja? I thought you said we weren't allowed to have gods.
You see Raja, fuck, I don't think he's defending you. You see Hades, full, Your Honors, if the party of the Imagineers are not here, I would move for a guilty party if one could be secretly planning an escape or, heaven forbid, a murder. You see Belial and Fierna have looked back and forth at each other just in the side, just like, would the defense motion for a hold of trial to find a compatriot? All of you are hearing this because Hades is now pulling shit. You see, standing up though,
Okay, final guess.
Jasmine, red,
I'll
red
touch my guess
hair,
later.
golden light suit. kind eyes as they ever were. The man who made you an Imagineer stands up
What?
as you see Mufasa raises a paw. We do not concur with the prosecution and would motion for your honors to allow us a 10-minute recess in finding our last party member who may have gotten lost on the way to the courtroom. As you see Belial, Belial, who seems to be maybe the more like orders good guy, just very well, the recess can be called for 10 minutes.
I immediately messaged Jasmine. Jasmine, every single person who can cast message is like, Jasmine, you need to get to the courtroom.
Jasmine, eventually, I'd say you get a ping from Jim.
I just quickly whispered to Raja, what can we do with 10 minutes?
Not a lot.
Okay, then I'm gonna go talk to them.
I'm gonna go hide.
Please hide. I'll go to the Imagineers. Mufasa's the one person whose existence just makes me feel guilty.
After a moment,
Mufasa's disapproving father.
You look behind, Raja has disappeared. And as you come up, you see Mufasa is talking to the group. Just, it's all right. If we all just go, we can ask someone to be a feet on the ground for us to find Jasmine.
Jasmine's just gonna slip into the room while they're all talking and wait for them to notice her in the background.
Perhaps we could have Jasmine go last.
I don't know how to become visible.
If Jasmine goes last, that does break stuff.
Do I know how to become visible?
If you look down, you seem to be invisible.
Mm-hmm. But?
You don't know how invisibility breaks.
Okay.
Okay,
then I'm going to very cleverly.
Wait,
I'm gonna
invisibility or is it invisibility?
I'm gonna
You're not sure.
tap morph from behind, but just to mess with. If she can't see me, it'll be that really funny messing with her.
By tapping morph, you watch your finger materialize.
But it wasn't an attack.
I'm gonna detect
It
magic.
was not an attack.
I'm gonna whip around and I'm gonna detect magic.
You don't even need to. Jasmine's just standing behind you.
Jasmine!
You see Mufasa look. Jasmine.
Hello, sir.
I know!
As with all the
Okay,
others, she
she'll hug
pulls
him.
you into a hug.
He's so cute!
I'm so glad you're here.
What are you doing here?
I was invited by you all to be your legal representation. You see, he actually seems to have that almost slight halo-ish glow in this glow.
He's so wonderful.
The afterlife is wonderful, but I'm glad I can help my Imagineers whenever they need my help. So, we have 8 minutes left of this recess. How do you want to be judged? What court do you want to go as? On what grounds?
Do you even know what he's talking about?
This might be a long shot, but I talked briefly with Raja, and I might try Demon Court. I'm sorry, sir. I know I'm supposed to be an Imagineer, but I've done a lot. You know I've broken laws. When you made me an Imagineer, you knew I was a thief. I've killed people, and
He actually thinks we could all be
It's
heroes.
not possible. I believe I've reviewed each. You see, he pulls out of a middle folder a paper labeled Jasmine of Agrabah.
Is there a
Being
last
as
name?
your family doesn't have a last name like per se, and so it's more of just that of Agrabah or Sultana. But you see, Jasmine of Agrabah, it says, in reviewing all your cases, I believe that all of you can go with the grounds of being a hero, because I believe, Jasmine, you are a hero.
If you're the one making the arguments, then I trust you to have your ducks in a row. Let's do Hero Court.
A heroic mortal court could work. A demonic court would have a lot that further down the road might have worse repercussions, but if you want to, we can try it.
If you've prepared the hero arguments, then I feel prepared.
Okay. Is everyone else ready? We don't have any other surprise guests yet?
Is she
You
like,
know-
does she look spiffy for court?
Jasmine looks like she just rolled out a disc covered in soot.
Okay, I'm gonna do prestidigitation on
This
her.
won't
Clean
do.
up.
Clean
This
it
one
all up.
What's the matter with you?
And then, do you want to do anything else?
So
Like,
yes.
do you
So
feel?
I just want to
presentable?
clarify
Because
Yes.
you always
with
look cool,
with you.
but
We
is that
have
what you're
killed
going for?
3 demon lords.
That is what the biggest problem's going to come in.
This is gonna be fun. Oh,
But
gosh.
okay, now we all have our reasons.
With though Jasmine being here, you are heroes on a quest for noble purposes.
Mr. Incredible's just here to get paid.
But in
I'm gonna
in
message
the
you because
bounds
I can
of
tell
a
Prime Minister,
adventuring
message you.
party
Hey, can
working
you just,
towards a
like,
common goal.
telepathically
Your
tell
common
us
goals
what you said?
of
What's the guy's
whatever they may be, if they be heroic, this is
Say that again, I
Mufasa
can't
is gonna say.
realize
After
that.
we give the points.
Yes. A witness?
Guys, Mufasa is going to just say again. You guys have to bring the heroic stuff, like in that I'm a hero.
I'm gonna ask Mufasa, are we able to call our own witnesses and will they be summoned here?
Yes, we can call witnesses.
I would like to
Will
call
they be
Ben as a
summoned?
witness.
Remember, witnesses
God.
we call can be called by the prosecution
Ben
and
thinks the world of me.
cross-witnessed. First, they have to go through crimes. So we can do witnesses. We'll talk before we bring them for each of you. And so it's not like before the official you can give like a here's what I want to do, or you can message me in private. Yeah. So he says here's the updated plan. Kronk will go first. Kronk's got a page. We can do Kronk. I
So
think
the difference. So Kronk's like.
rap sheet of
Rap sheet.
you know,
Tell me mine is
literally
the
a page.
biggest.
No.
No, Mr.
Yours-
Incredible.
Actually, after Hook, it's yours.
Hook has a large book's worth.
But I'm right after Hook.
You are
That's fair.
next. Then it's kind of like a
The rest of us are
even-ish.
pretty even, which is funny because they don't have any records of me before I was morphed. So like, what? How bad of a
and
person
again,
was I?
it's also that like
the dealing of am I Petalbud or am I Thumbelina? And the answer is yes.
Mufasa is advising
Morph
Thumbelina
is as big as both
because
of you?
if she tries to claim Thumbelina, yeah, they don't do anything with
I
Petalbud.
didn't know it was
But
that
then going back to the fairies, you've legally said you're no
Right.
longer Petalbud, and so it's not like. But Mufasa's stating beliefs, she can be both. You can be both as a hero of the Fey Courts and win. So, Kronk, Mr. Incredible, because we should get over some of your hurdles.
Can we call in gods as witnesses?
Lightly, it might not work with Hades because he can
That's fair.
give grounds of being a god of the Olympians he can count. So unless it's like very big reasons, we go with then. So after Mr. Incredible, before we do Morph, I think we throw in Jasmine. Just two rougher cases. Morph, we go. Then Thumbelina, Jim, Hook.
I vaguely remember, I think, saving Lily's dad from the Jolly Roger one time.
There's a lot. We'll go as we go.
Okay. I did one good thing in my life, guys.
As you see, he nods, brings you back into the courtroom. Law and Order.
Oh, that's what
This is the Law and Order main theme song.
Oh.
These are their stories. Bringing you in, you see Hades sees you, Jasmine. Not a lot past her eyes, maybe just like, they got her. Okay. Belial and Fiona see you guys to enter. Just excellent. We are ready then for the Court of Peers. They gesture to the 4 seats that are beside them. You see, has the council agreed on the courts and mortality and morality of your clients? See, Mufasa, they will all be judged as heroes. You see, then we will call a court of heroes. Interesting. What did that mean? Because there's a couple things. Well, on a 19, you guys are going to get along. You see appearing before you the first slot, Thumbelina and Jasmine. You have both met this person before. As you see a lovely dark-skinned woman with black curly hair and slightly pointed ears in a green dress and apron appears. And this seems to be Tiana.
So
Which
she
you know,
survived to the claricide.
That is so
Awesome.
nice. Oh, I was
That's a
so
relief.
worried
John
about
Pierce,
that.
Well, no, they could be dead.
Oh,
You
that's
don't-
fair.
you don't get to know.
Yeah, because
Dang.
it's dead or alive.
These
yeah.
could be dead or alive. Next appearing, you see. Oh, gotta roll. another woman, pointed ears, drawn back hair. Again, you both know, and some of you, the Princess Mulan,
Oh,
hero
we got
of China.
two princesses.
The hero of the Bayou and the hero of China, as they are introduced officially to court. And you see quickly, like, little demons in suits are, like, whispering to them, like, kind of just catch up. Like, hey, sorry, you've just been summoned. Jury duty, it's a bitch.
Wow,
sorry.
you can have jury duty even after you die?
It's the worst.
That really is.
This is hell. This,
Does that mean like this could happen to us?
So
someday?
I actually got
Who
summoned
wants
to
our
jury duty when I was in the Philippines.
We're jury.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're like,
That's true,
we
that's
need
true,
Braxton
yeah.
here in the States.
you
This week.
see
And my parents were like, no,
No.
that can't happen. And they're like, if
appearing
he doesn't appear, he's
next,
going to jail.
looking disoriented.
They did the same
in
thing when I was in Italy. They had to say they had to shift
blue-
from Poland into the country.
I
Yeah.
can't do this with their face. Blue, wonderful blue coat with slight gold vest underneath, and Jasmine looking as pompous as ever.
No.
Adam, the hero of
Yeah!
France, will
I'm
be.
so happy.
I can't help it. I stick out my tongue at him.
You still get to. He just.
I wave. I wave.
Does he? No.
Yeah. Remember I
yeah,
killed my
yeah,
poking his
yeah.
eyes once? That was.
You all know Adam.
We all know Adam.
I
And-
actually don't.
You've never met him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Fuck me. It's a 20.
Yes.
And appearing.
Is it Lily?
It's Mickey Fetching Mouse.
That would be dope.
Oh. I think the lords are like somehow above Tartarus authority. I don't think they could be randomly called up on jury duty.
Thunder rumbles.
Yes!
But I'm
That's
Jasmine!
I had a list. I had a list, and that's a nat 20.
Yeah,
Um,
I knew he would be that.
hero of Dizania, chosen of the gods, heir of Zeus, Hercules, the demigod.
Yes.
Was that from the music?
You see though, all of you just, you watch as Hercules materializes, just. Sees you guys, and just.
One person jury duty might actually be a relief for.
I'm just
Immediately demons are over. This kid looks up. You see though, Adam gives him a little pat on the back, just in that like, as he's sitting next to him. Crazy jury, man. I have never rolled that well.
Wait, we
in
only have a
any
jury of 4
campaign.
people?
Yep.
Yeah, because
Wait,
while
our
they're
fate is not decided
it's-
by
we
that.
Their
Mulan,
ver-
Tiana-
Mulan. Okay, that's one.
their verdict, while important, the final
Wait,
verdict
Tiana
still.
is in Princess and the Frog?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
She's
was
cool.
actually the lowest of my rolls, but still pretty good. To
Yeah,
have a-
Tiana's pretty cool.
You do see though, as they're going through quickly whispering, the final verdict coming from Belly and Fiona, as they motion Mufasa, just we are now ready to hear these cases.
Did you get my message?
Yes, I did. And that would really work.
Okay.
Mufasa is now going to have you go last.
Oh.
Because of something that he's going to do.
Oh, I'm
There's ideas. There's
I'm
ideas.
intrigued.
As Mufasa, I call to the stand for the first hearing, Kronk Pepe Kratzenitz. You guys see Kronk just
You know what I mean?
comes this down. You see going through the rap sheet.
You and August.
In cases of crimes against person, assault and battery, 0. Arson, none. Child abuse, none. Domestic abuse, none. Kidnapping, 1 count of Cusco, Emperor of China. Rape and statutory rape, none. Verbal abuse, none. Harassment, none. Manslaughter, none. Murder, in charges of murder. Aiding and abetting and group of choice, Zariel, Queen of Wonderland. Despoter, Lord of Dis. Mammon, CEO of Monstropolis, all lords of Tartarus.
I just say that's a pretty cool.
Huge
rap
buzz in the
sheet.
courtroom. You all get, oh yeah, that's why people are here, because, yeah, the guys going through, killing the lords are now on trial.
That makes sense why there's so many reporters.
And judges are.
You see, though, crimes against property, burglary, none. Larceny, none. Embezzlement, none. False pretenses, none. Robbery, none. Auto theft, none. And shoplifting, 1. Kronk cries, just,
It's the raisins.
it was,
Oh
I
my
needed some raisins.
You're right. It is the reason.
He stole one thing ever, shoplifting. Inchoate crimes, unwillingly. Aiding and abetting one Yzma, High Counselor, in overthrow and ruin of China. The attempted murder of one Cusco, Emperor of China. 0 counts of conspiracy. In terms of statutory crimes related to and notwithstanding alcohol, drug, trafficking, or white collar, none.
I love Kronk.
Crimes against morality in the court of a hero. Gambling, none. Prostitution, none. Assisted suicide, none. Drug use or possession, none. Any and all organized crime, none. You see Kronk still crying over the raisins. Mufasa briefs
I
forward.
love Kronk.
Kronk is gonna keep crying when he hears what we've done.
You're on.
Jacqueline's listening to all this. and being
Mufasa
remind me
just-
again why I agreed
Your
with you
Honor,
over it.
we motion that the trial of murder of one Zariel, Despotter, and Mammon, lords and devils of their rights, so they be
No.
named,
Now we had
Be
a
given-
contract.
be given
Zariel.
at the end of trial for a group. As this, and you basically gives a lot of legal jargon of this is a group thing you all did, so we're not going to go through every time.
That's
Can we-
fair.
We'll
Lump
hit all
sum.
once at the end.
Yeah.
Okay,
love
okay,
it.
but like in our
Try
defense,
for our
we
raisins.
didn't want to fight
It's
Zariel.
all happening at the end.
I know.
You see, though, as the court goes through, though, that's at the end,
As they're like
Um,
raisins.
they go through
Raisins.
the bit of the full everything with Emperor's New Grief. How Kronk everything. You see, Mufasa though gives a very compelling case though in talking that Kronk was simply doing what he thought to be right under the order. That Cusco was not yet, in fact, a rational and well thought emperor. This was something that should be brought upon the charges of Yzma. How yes, aiding and abetting, but again, when unknowingly puts it into a totally different like category.
Innocence.
Goes through
He was kind of
in about a half hour though. You see,
Just so
Hades
innocent
isn't
himself.
saying a word. You actually see the
That was an incredibly short trial.
prosecution. Would you like to examine the witness? Hades just waves his hand.
He's not gonna win that
Yeah,
one.
He's like, we're not winning this
He's
one.
saving his energy for the ones he thinks he's gonna win.
As you see, then Mufasa, no further questions. For as you see, in count of heroic acts,
Saved my life.
the saving of lives of multiple party members. They go through and with Kronk talk about all the times he worked for good in helping Cusco after Yzma's demise in China, going through and finding the party and in the help of the manual labor, in the help of cooking, in the help of these things. You see
The
that
man works at a soup kitchen every Wednesday.
he's a very good person.
He's missed 3
and
Wednesdays
after a while,
in a row now.
Belial and Fierna both raise hands at once.
He's fine.
We then move to cease the court proceedings. Have the jury will now go and give a verdict. In a flash of fire, they are gone and yet back. You see a paper floats over to Fierna. She reads.
Guilty.
Then, as the court of the devils in the 4th layer of hell, we find that the one Kronk, Pepe Cransonitz, is hereby cleared of his charges and is deemed a hero.
Good.
Okay.
Demons
that's seriously
clapping,
awesome.
Jerry. A lot of noise. As Kronk gets up, wipes away a tear. Just, all right, that was pretty good. Cathartic.
So cute.
As Kronk returns to you guys.
I'm just imagining the angel pulling down the little scoreboard and marking another one for the angel.
Scratching a big old one, like, yeah, we're a good person. As
As the devil's like, but the raisins.
Kronk is cleared. I'm not deleting this list because, fun fact, I have one for almost every person ever. These are fun lists.
I know. I'm like.
Next
This
up,
is-
you see
This is
the
us
court now
versus
calls
August.
one Robert Parr to the stand.
I thought you were
I
going
thought
Yeah.
you switched him to last.
As
So
Mufasa raises
Oh, I see.
the point of order, we would ask that Robert Parr be moved to the end of our proceedings. As you see,
Can I look at
Hades looks a little just,
Not let them know.
About
and you see
Anna.
Bella Fierna sustained.
Thing in the back.
Mufasa's like, ooh, let's
that
move
looks
you
so
last,
bad.
but it's that like they still had to say it, and
The
Hades
formal-
could have argued, but like, nope,
Here.
you're next.
My home
Um,
place.
I'm going to message to everyone, do not mention my soul. Ever. I have no soul. According to you guys.
Thumbelina, you are now up next. As they say, we call one Petalbud and Error Thumbelina to the stand. You fly up.
I know. I have no idea. What's
As you pass in, you feel a strong wave of magic. This is a zone of truth. Something,
Oh, boy,
and
howdy.
there is no save because this is a sanctified, demonic, holy spot of just truth, where it's like you're on the stand, you can't lie.
It's like the do you put your hand on the Bible? Do you swear to the truth?
As they bring you forth, they go through proceedings, read you in. And how will the court then be addressing said person? And they turn to you.
What do you want?
Depends on what they're talking about at the time.
Belios, your name, how you would like to be known.
Go for Thumbelina for now.
You see, Mufasa, my client, one Thumbelina, wishes to be tried by court of fairy and fae as a hero. And you see a bit good murmur. Again, it's that like, whoa, we've not had a lot of fae down here, and she's going for it. You see, will the crimes be read out? In the crimes listed against one Thumbelina of the fae, crimes against persons and or hate crimes for assault and battery, 30 French civilians.
Oh.
Against one Ursula the Mind Flayer. Arson, none. Child abuse, none. Domestic abuse, none. Kidnapping, none. Rape and statutory rape, none. Verbal abuse, 309 counts of verbal abuse towards persons of party members, personages of interest, and family.
She's very sassy.
I love how you just told us that you were so pure.
Okay, but if you go
Pure
really-
soul.
Verbal abuse is not nearly though as bad.
Oh yeah, it's just so funny.
Again, because
Hilarious.
if they get you, they're gonna go for everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
In terms of harassment, the crime of harassment, none. Manslaughter, 10,000 fairy soldiers.
Oh. I know, but that.
On counts of murder, one LeFou Pompadour of France,
Okay, he deserves
He
it.
deserved that one.
one Calabar of the Desanian Mortal Plane, one Judge Claude Frollo, High Priest and ruler of the Temple of Zeus of Sumani,
He also deserved it.
one
Who were
Maleficent of Desania,
Surprised you're not putting that under family.
and the Devil Lords are named. Crimes of property, burglary, none. Larceny, 36. Embezzlement, none. False pretense, 5. Robbery, none. Auto theft, none. Shoplifting, none. Inchoate crimes. In the aiding and abetting and the murder of Maleficent in group form. The attempted murder of one James Hook and one Nathaniel Flint. In conspiracy, none.
He's still alive.
In statutory crimes, none. In crimes against morality of the Fae. Of gambling, none. Of drug use and possession, none. This is where it gets different, though, than normal human. In terms of false witness, 3. In terms of one's use of magic for evil, none. Organized crime has since been led by a crew of pirates, piracy being noted as organized crime.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
You see,
Wait, what? I was
Mufasa
not paying attention.
Piracy is organized crime.
technically isn't organized crime.
Right? Isn't it
You're a
great?
mob boss.
Yeah.
fetch.
Legally.
That is sick.
That's pretty cool.
Legally,
I was part of your
yes.
crew. I was considered a pirate.
Yes, it's if you sign on with the crew, yeah.
That's
You
awesome.
see Mufasa. In the case of one attempted murder on James Hook, we have witness to drop charges. As Captain Hook does, I legally renounce any and all charges of attempted murder on my life by those pertaining to and hereby the Imagineers of Dizania, acquaintances, and friendship of said parties.
Aw.
Appreciate it.
You see just kind of very plainly. He goes and sits down. Jasmine, you haven't seen Hook in a while. The dude's sweating hard. You see they go through. Thumbelina, how do you then plead to said crimes?
Some of those crimes are true and some of them are not.
You see Mufasa just, we would like to motion for an investigation into said crimes. They are going to go through. In the crimes of assault and battery against the French civilians and Ursula, they were true.
I don't know what the French civilian ones, but it's fine.
When you guys invaded France, you guys beat up a ton of the French soldiers.
Oh, because we were trying to get to the castle.
Trying to get to
But those
Gaston,
were
trying to get...
civilians.
They were civilians who were forced into...
Sorry, you literally just said French soldiers, so I'm like,
Sorry, civilians.
They were
Okay,
civilians
okay.
who were forced to become soldiers,
Yes.
right?
that makes more
Um,
sense, and I'm like, hey.
And that's something you see Mufasa is going to move that be put under the grounds of hero. For that to be decided by during court. You actually see Adam and Hercules are just kind of like nodding, like you see.
Adam was there.
They're both just like.
They were both there.
It's not possible for that now that they are on. They can't be disbarred. Like I mean, because again, it's more like unlike our juries. You can't be like, they're a person of interest. They can't judge me. It's they're here, and since it technically the ruling will come from the two up top, you can't do much.
Yeah.
So going through, in verbal abuse, Mufasa then motions that this be a lesser crime, of course. This being just like.
I am extremely sassy, and I'm sorry that it's come off as verbal abuse.
But you see, Thumbelina, how do you plead in the case of manslaughter, involuntary, of the 10,000 fairy troops you were told to lead in the battle against one Chernabog, Lord of Evil?
This is before. This is when I was Petalbud, right?
Yeah.
Okay, August, you're going to have to remind me. I did lead the troops,
You did.
and that was when my mom died, right?
The troops, you could assume, without a check, just like base knowledge, when the fight at Chernabog happened and all the races and nations and nationalities and persons united against him, Chernabog, you had legions to command.
Right.
In fighting your sister, in that choice to go after them, you left your troops.
Okay.
And
That's
it's
what
being...
they're claiming.
They're claiming as because you left, that is manslaughter. You left them to
Okay.
die.
So I would like to explain the case, and then you can determine if I'm guilty or innocent.
Yes, Mufasa, it
So-
will concur for you in that, yes, we would like to motion under one Thumbelina's Petalbud life for a look at that separate of other charges. To which you see Hades says prosecution agrees. Belia and Fiona then nod. So yes, time is Petalbud. That time will be a moment to look at.
Okay.
They then go through. Because crimes against property are so few, they all fall under stuff that happened with the Cave of Wonder, or just other like stuff you grabbed. That those can all be under the garb of hero. So it's that like, hey, you're only gonna get charged for them if they don't think you're a hero.
Right.
Because if you're not a hero, then you're just stealing things from
Right.
people, right?
But because we're doing things heroically, then we did
Stealing
fight a
very
dragon.
heroically.
They do bring up though of
Pregnant.
false witness under the morality of the Fae.
Okay.
And it is explained, you see, by the court. The crime of a false witness of a Fae, of something they know not to be true, and speak it thus. The crime being of one claiming one's sister and mother in matricide is still false witness. While to the Fae, you killed, and that's kind of what the initial thing for you, Thumbelina, was. It is still then a moral crime of a fairy to lie about what you did. I lied about myself, and that's a big thing for the Fae. It's a very serious crime, but it's that or what? Let the fairy think that my sister turned to murder everyone and preserving their memory for me to live a different life. It was that choice.
So because I left, they're considering it false witness.
And so Mufasa then says, we would motion that this be put under the garb of hero. Hades speaks up. The court will remember that we cannot put morality into one's choices. One's alignment of good and evil should not affect their alignment of chaos and order. And if a Fae has borne false witness, it must be then charged. You see, he looks directly at you. As a Fae's charge. Belial and Fiona, then we must sustain the prosecution. Mufasa, though, nods at you just in that, like, it's okay, like, okay, he's gonna try that, we can do this. The aiding and abetting, the attempted murder has been dropped, so that actually just deletes. In going through, you see, they say, we now move for the murder of LeFou Pompadour, Calabar, Frollo, Maleficent.
Those particular humans, beings, we are attacked. Were attacking my person or my party. It was in pure self-defense.
Fiona, just, do you have a witness or evidence?
I was there.
Frollo for sure.
You guys can't witness
We
for
can't
each
be
other.
witnesses for each other.
Just because it's that, like,
Adam was
What
a
wasn't
witness.
Mulan there? What?
Yeah.
Couldn't jury members also not be witnesses? What are the rules?
Belle was a witness.
Yeah, for like
Yeah,
all of
we
them.
were like all of
I was waiting, I'm like, you're getting there. Like, no, yeah, your jury cannot witness for you.
Yeah.
They
I
have
realized
to-
that as I said it.
Belle, Meg,
Actually, I don't think Meg was there because Jasmine was there. And
for Maleficent.
Maleficent,
oh,
yes.
for Maleficent, yeah.
But
I
it's
thought we were still
the-
talking about Frollo.
For everything, it would have been Belle because that was before.
And
Adam.
Mufasa
Yeah, that was
is
it for
going to use
everything.
morph to message, you know, in that sidebar. Because
Yeah,
messaging's fine in courts where it's like, it's literally a sidebar without having to take recess.
Right. Yep.
Using you to basically say, one person for all will look better.
Belle.
The court summons Belle, Queen of France, Oracle of Desanya.
Oh, it's gonna be so good to see Belle again.
Mufasa goes to Belle. Belle, is this true? Can you please point out one adventuring party member? You see, he gestures to you, Thumbelina, and Belle just, yes, that is Thumbelina and a friend. Is it true that these were in self-defense of one's actions against persons of evil?
Forgot I killed LeFou.
And you see, Belle takes a moment and just, yes, these were all persons of evil falling under what we tried with heroics to prevent them from evil and ruin.
Oh, she's so.
See, nods. The prosecution may now cross witness. Hades stands up, comes. Oracle Belle. Is it not true that you knew one LeFou Pompadour? Belle. Yes. Is it then not also true that this man, as hereby shown by the court as one Kronk, was also acting in order of assistance and aid, and not in true malicious fashion? You see, Belle,
Henchman.
that does sound correct. You see, Hades. I then motion that one Thumbelina knew exactly what she was doing and murdered an innocent man. Hereby proven, if we are to believe your honor's great ruling of one Kronk, that this was murder of an innocent.
Because you never even knew Kronk at that point, so it's.
He's claiming that because Kronk, LeFou is the same thing.
Except
It's
she
just the
didn't
analogy.
even know someone who was in that kind of
That's not
position.
even
But
the
she
point.
killed him.
But I
Even
killed
know
him
that.
anyway. But part of it was he was also trying to hurt me.
But he
Exactly.
also killed Belle.
But like at
Well,
the same
stabbed Belle.
time, we could have easily justified Cusco killing Kronk because Kronk was hurting Cusco.
The point is, Hades is pulling what was a good precedence from Mufasa. Look at Kronk, our star example. It's okay.
He's gonna
So if
Going
some
by
people,
that same standard.
so if this is the standard, and he's using the judge, because again, they're the devils. He's using them.
I know.
Then this is our standard. This is what I motion. You see that Belle
did this
just
happen?
nods.
Before you ever came in.
Yeah, it was
As-
when we still had
He takes us
2 of our old party members.
without much thought, though. Calabar and Frollo are immediately then dissuaded by the Order of Hero. This idea of we are as heroes. These were evil.
And Maleficent as well then?
Maleficent is being weighted
Oh, because she's
with the rest of your because the sister. It's that whole thing. Same with then Mufasa's going to try to move. So he's moving Calabar, Frollo, Flint, and basically all these others under your active hero. He's got a good roll though. He's got a good +8. You picked a good guy. On a 22, the court will find that yes, but LeFou will be a mark against you. It doesn't look great.
Who's LeFou?
Gaston's lackey.
Oh.
Guy who ran her. And that's why it's like that. This was a dude who was trying his best for what he knew.
It doesn't help at all that when Lily tried to bring him back, he preferred to stay dead.
No.
She was doing him a favor.
And that's something where it's like, you gotta say, okay, if Hades just basically sneakily went, here's a precedence, I'm gonna exploit it. Thumbelina is called to the stand. We would hear testimony of the matricide, or supposed matricide. Thumbelina, this is your chance to, a little role-playing wise, tell your side of the story.
As Princess Puddlebud, the most important priority in my life was my country, followed by my family. And to be falsely accused of killing my own mother and my sister, who were very dear to me, hurt like nothing you can imagine. But at the same time, my country needed to think that they had strong rulers who loved them no matter what. So running away, essentially, wasn't running from my problems, but running towards a life that would let my country and my people have faith in their rulers still. I would be the problem child, essentially, but it's better to have one problem child than a whole family of problem children.
You see Mufasa, who he's the one that brought you up and just kind of gave you this moment. May the court and all persons here find that my client was acting in role of martyr for a people. One that could be used as effigy can be burned and hate can be thrown in pure heroic fashion.
She pulled a Spider-Man.
Spider-Man pulled a Thumbelina.
You see,
No.
Hades isn't looking great. You see, he's kind of glowering a little, as Mufasa makes a very compelling argument based on your pure testimony, all true. And of course, they can call in just a little bit of fey of the battle, other things. You see, Mufasa says, "I call
I don't
for
think-
one Ravenwing."
There we go.
Oh,
That's what I
okay.
wanted
Oh,
to
I
happen.
know.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping he would show
He
up.
loves you.
I love
And
him.
immediately gone through, you see this small ferryman quickly just sees this, is informed very briefly of what's going on, and then is as Mufasa just Ravenwing. Is it true that one Petalbud, now Thumbelina, acted in role of martyr and heroic royal fashion for the fairy? You see Petalbud? Yes. You see, is her testimony, hereby re-shown, true to your best intents and purposes and understanding? Yes. Mufasa, then, no further questions. As a royal advisor and one known of the situation, should be testimony enough. Mufasa is down, they call Hades. One Ravenwing. It is true that you are an advisor to the royal family. It is true that by Fey law, Thumbelina may not return to her family and kingdom. So he nods once more. Why then do you believe Thumbelina has not returned or made effort to try to return? See, Raven, to my understanding, it is because her people will not accept her, who believe this story, and then wish peace until she can bring forth her best interest in case to be made for her people. See, Hades, do you believe that Thumbelina then is one worthy of ruling the Fey people? Ravenwing looks at you. Yes. Do you believe any others are more worthy at present? Ravenwing stops. She doesn't talk. I'll reiterate my question. Do you not believe that any others are more worthy at present time to take the roles and responsibilities by one Thumbelina? You see Ravenwing, very emotionless. Yes.
Stabbed to the heart.
Would you please tell the court who you believe is better fit?
No, don't
You
be
see.
your fan.
In current climate and time, I believe that the Council of Fairy that has been organized is ruling adequately. See, Hades then. No further questions. Now, your honor, your honors, your honor. Are we to then believe any sort of martyrdom from said Thumbelina when her people are doing fine because of this? Is she not okay? And the fairy's not okay. Why does she need to have a higher sense of justice and goodness for something that the fairies don't need? If they don't need her back, who cares?
What? Wait, that argument makes no sense.
He's arguing that because the people are okay without me, that they don't need me.
Well, yeah, but you're also
doesn't
acting
change
as a
your
martyr.
intentions.
Yeah.
They're okay
Yeah.
because you did what you did, though, is what we're arguing, right?
If that's what
Yeah.
you're arguing. Yes, Mufasa's saying because she did what Hades saying it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
that-
If they're already fine,
Well,
we
But
can't. It's something. It's putting directly to the judges of they get to decide was her actions really what helped the fairy, or if already the Fey Council are doing fine. Because he was asking because of Thumbelina's actions and the Fey Council being fine. He was like, no, right now are they running well? Do you, this perfect witness of saying, do you believe that anyone else is better? Yes. Well, if they're running well, did it matter? Is what he's trying to do.
Then can I message to Mufasa? But even if that is the case, that doesn't change her intention. Her
Mufasa's just- I
intent
know.
to be a martyr. So
I know.
Don't like
As
Hades.
Mufasa giving closing statements brings this,
Okay, good.
saying, the attack of her sisters and mother from one Maleficent. Thumbelina's best judgment and actions have shown all too clear the love of her people, her heroics, and her choices have positively impacted the Fae. Hades did it? Did it really? Did one insignificant fairy make a difference? Or is this a murdering fairy that zips around the countryside, enacting justice as she pleases?
Are you talking about me as a fairy godmother or me currently? Don't know.
You see, this leaves this. A lot of this is rules, but it's stuff that you guys have brought up. And Thumbly, you have a much better advantage, though, because it's true.
Okay.
Your peers and jury, you see Adam, Hercules, Tiana, Mulan, that fire back and back. As it's not that they're making the choice quickly, it's probably some little time thing of, so it's once they're done. That way courts move fast here.
Makes sense. They have a lot of people to get through.
And the note is passed to the lords. You see Fiona. In the case of one Thumbelina, Imagineer and current heir to the Fairy Kingdom, we the courts find her actions heroic. We agree with the martyrdom of her personage in effigy, hereby making all heroics done. The court does recognize, though, the murder of one Le Fou Pompadour. May his soul then rest in peace. May judgment be acted. You see, because it's like that. Judgment comes from justice, may not. So whatever that may mean for the future, that's there.
That's fine. I'll take it.
You see, moving down, we call one Jasmine of Agrabah to the stand. Jasmine, I will go a little bit quicker. That one was just signed because Hades had stuff planned to try to mess you up. Jasmine, 10 counts of burglary, 5,412 counts of larceny, 0 counts of embezzlement, 382 false pretenses, 94 robberies, 82 auto theft, auto being any form of transportation, and
Oh crap, I'm gonna have a couple of those.
and 2,153 shoplifting charges of your entire life. The assault and battery of one Jack Skellington, pirates, guards, Jafar the Vizier, Evil Queen Grimhilda, Shan Yu, Wanti,
Her name's Evil Queen.
the Evil Queen Grimhilda, legally she had it made that way, the Cheshire Cat, and one Robert Parr. In the
I'm just waiting for it to be like
in
8
assault and
counts of
battery.
the Cheshire Cat.
You see though Mufasa.
Murder.
I will drop the charges.
Let the charges against eight of the Imagineers that Robert has dropped. So yes,
I forgot she killed him.
as
Jess
well
was actually,
as
her tactic is to be completely shameless. She's proud.
the
She's
attempted
guilty of
murder of one
everything.
James Hook is dropped because he already.
He dropped all charges.
In counts of arson, none. In counts of child abuse, none. In counts of domestic abuse, 1 count of verbal and mental abuse of father.
Ooh.
In counts of kidnapping, none. Rape and statutory rape, none. Verbal abuse, 789 charges in multiple
Who
forms.
had more, Thumbelina or Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Dang it!
It's more because Jasmine had a ton of thieves that she could break. She can
Also
argue
a
a
ton
lot.
of pompous
Question.
shooters.
Yours was a lot just because of your person.
Does
She
anyone
just
have a
had.
USB-C I can borrow?
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
It's just because I'm sassy. You actually mean it.
Yes.
I had a lot of arguments with my
It's a
dad.
small
Okay, I think they
USB-C,
were all
I'm sorry.
justified.
I'll just grab my own from home.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Do we want to talk about
I'll
the
be right
time
back.
when I came home and all my friends were being hanged?
It
Yeah.
happens.
Right.
I can excuse
In
the
form
verbal
of
abuse I made.
harassment, Prince Adam of France. 1 count of harassment.
Oh, that's amazing. I love
You
that.
see Mufasa though.
Do I even know what the harassment part of that was without?
Let it be moved that the harassment and stealing of
Spoons.
218 golden spoons and the then economic decline of France be waived by said person. Can we move
I
that?
didn't know about that yet, so
We'll
pulling
see what
back
he
right
moves.
now.
We'll see if he does that.
Oh gosh.
That's something we're gonna wait till tomorrow because he personally gets to make that choice. I can't make that for him.
Oh gosh.
Awesome.
Oh dice.
And in counts of murder, heads forth. In counts of aiding and abetting, 1 aiding of the arson of Agrabah,
Oh.
What?
being known to the party and the aid of heroics in a party, that 1 Lilith of Neverland threw 1 said homemade bomb and the then burning of Agrabah.
I didn't know she was going to. I didn't know she even could make bombs.
You see Hades that, and yet this was made of party. You made premeditated choice of the larceny of one's own home with said person. Though involuntary, still aiding and abetting. That technically, because you guys were the Imagineers and you had made a plan to go in, and ooh, maybe if there's distraction,
Is the unknowingness part of the Kronk clause of
That's what I was
it might be.
Who?
The attempted murder of one Dr. Facilier, the attempted murder and the aiding and abetting of one Aksam, royal guidance counselor and family therapist.
I could have sworn you gave him a different name before.
I did. I can't find it anywhere.
What, you didn't record every
Karkadan.
session?
His name was Karkadan.
Thank you.
That
Gosh.
is impressive, girl.
You're welcome. Because I remember
Dang.
obsessing over it at the time and trying to figure out who it could have been. I was trying
You
to
are
like.
so
Yeah.
cool.
Man, it totally was gone.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Karkadan.
Dang,
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you. Gosh. And 1 Ka. But again, Karkadan and the arson, Mufasa is going to move for the unknowing clause. Facilier, Ka falling under hero. Same with also the attempted murder and harassment of Mother Gothel.
Yep.
Jafar, Evil Queen, and Shan Yu, but all falling
All
under
hero clause.
heroics. In terms of statutory crimes, none. Crimes of morality. 736 counts of gambling. 0 counts of prostitution or attempted suicide. Jasmine, this is something I have to ask you. Do you ever think you use drugs?
No.
0 counts. I'll say, as a character, that's
She was
something
supposed to be at the top of her
a
game.
lot of you I kind of like knew
Yeah.
just from my notes, but I'm like, I gotta know. That was fine. And in organized crime, the account of 1 Queen of Thieves running the Guild of Thieves in Agrabah.
No, that's true.
You see, though,
Actually,
what
that's a
they're
good
going,
argument for that though.
they are going to press
Or
that
is it you who would
Hades is pressing
No, but it's a good thing.
the combined total of over 8,000 different forms of crimes of property. Hades is, this is a person who has shown distrust and shown character. This is not a person who should then be trusted or let off in terms of heroics, because these were not the actions of a hero in terms of taking weapons and gold and furthering their adventures. This was someone who stole for the sake of stealing, as one Queen Sultana of Thieves.
He's got a point.
The City of Thieves. Just kidding.
This is also one who has no regard for heroics, ergo the count of abuse of her own father. I motion for the court, and we will hear the witness. Jasmine, you're being brought up. Plead your case. What's your testimony?
There's a lot of things to say.
I will address the bit about my father first, with the caveat that both of these charges ultimately stem from the same concern, you could call it, for my country. The only verbal abuse I can think of that this charge could refer to are the numerous arguments that I had with my father when he was trying to force me to marry a prince, any prince, regardless of whether he would then make a good sultan for Agrabah. I argued very strongly against this idea until my father ultimately agreed that I was right, that this would have been damaging not only for me personally, but for the country of Agrabah, and that at least for now I can rule better alone. And we reconciled and came to an agreement on that point. As for the theft, yes, I like the rush of thieving. I'm not going to lie, but it's bigger than that personal enjoyment. My father was a good sultan to half of his people. he understands the nice, perfect, law-abiding citizens who don't do anything out of the ordinary. He gets them. And he has no flexibility or mercy for people he can't understand. I am the Queen of Thieves as much as I am the Sultana. I can enforce the rules and laws of our Thieves Guild. I can ensure that at least in Agrabah there really is honor among thieves. And I, in this double role, can apply to all of my people the laws that best fit them.
You see Mufasa in agreement. Just
Damn,
we
that
move
is-
that
was
the
sounds
role
good.
of
So cool.
Sultana of Thieves is one of cultural importance to her people.
That was pretty dang good.
That was,
That was
yeah, that was a good
awesome.
argument.
Mufasa leaves it with you because there's not a lot where you can do in terms of witness because like you call up a thief, what? Yeah, did you thief? You don't have a
Could witnesses be dead?
Yes.
Could my grandfather talk about the importance of being like the King of Thieves?
I will give you a helpful DM. Roger, just fucking don't, do not.
Okay.
You want to bring up the dude that stole from Asmodeus into this court? Let's
Yeah,
not.
that's not
Let's
a good idea.
not. Please don't. Please don't.
Okay,
Please
is
don't.
there another
Please
ancestor?
don't. All of you see, she is just kind of whispering to herself.
Okay, is there another ancestor that would work?
Okay, just let it go. That was good. You did good, but do not call your grandfather.
That was so funny.
That was a helpful deal. I almost
For the
wanted to just
love of-
run with it. I'm like, no, Raja would not want you,
Yeah.
because that would
Yeah.
kill
It
you.
would have opened the can.
Roger would have said something.
Then it
That
would
was
be
really
roll
funny.
initiative as I call my grandfather. Your grandfather. It's good they don't know if
It's
you're
good they
related.
don't know. Okay.
You see, Hades already made his
You're
point
who?
first. The courts will now decide. I've been rolling really well for all of you.
Thank you.
Hades, the courts come back. Adam hands over. Belial. We as the courts then find that yes, this is the acts of heroes. This is heroism in the culture and welfare of the people of Agrabah. And we charge the defendant with
Murder.
going to therapy with her dad.
No. Didn't
You look
go to
over,
therapy, did
you
I?
see
No,
Hercules.
no,
No,
you're being
that's your
charged. That is
punishment.
your sentence.
Oh, I see.
Hercules is sitting there just like,
Okay, yes, I know I need to work on my relationship. Thanks for the vote of confidence, sir.
So great.
Hercules had to. He's like,
Yeah.
You really need to work this out with your family.
I just love that.
Is your dad
Therapy
still alive?
with your
Yeah, he just steps down.
we now call Morph
After
the
whole
changeling.
reign of terror thing.
Morph, yours is going to be Mufasa put you in as a padding.
As in
Because
what?
a padding. Kind of like, not like Kronk where it's perfect.
But between, like...
You've got a good chance because you see,
Or are you saying I don't?
there's a
Well, dang, I'm really surprised.
I mean, if
honestly.
Thumbelina was charged with just being part of your crew and you being the mastermind of this criminal organization...
Morph.
Mhm.
They read
I have an
through.
argument for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Assault and battery of French civilians, 30. Murder of Monsieur Ledarc.
Oh, he deserved that.
Assisted murder of LeFou Pompadour. Calabar. Members of the Cult of the 40 Thieves. Pirates in employment of one James Hook. Captain Flint.
I was. Oh.
The Demon Lords. All of this is going to fall under your counts of piracy. And in aiding and abetting. 302 counts of larceny, 165 false pretense, 382 robbery, 372 auto theft.
What?
All under the
Okay.
aiding and abetting of one John Silver.
Yeah.
Oh, fetch, yeah.
Your attempted murder of James Hook gets you off the hook.
Thank you.
But of course, the attempted murder of one Nathaniel Flint. No statutory crimes of alcohol, drug trafficking, or white
I'm
collar.
just worried about what it's gonna be for summoning Flint.
No crimes against morality in terms of gambling, prostitution, assisted suicide, or drug aid and possession. Hades is standing. Let it be known, though, is it the act of a hero to summon
Here goes.
a demon?
Yes.
That one Nathaniel Flint was brought forth out of Tartarus, out of his already righteous punishment by your courts, to serve one Morph. And he has since then allied with your sworn enemies, the demons.
AKA you.
Of course he's not saying. But you see, of course, the Devil Lords Belial and Fiona do give a little in this sentencing. Mufasa is going to get up, though, and just, in brief, these were the actions of a hero. My client acted in preservation of their friends and families to keep this demon in check. It was not my client's fault that said Nathaniel Flint had not revealed true names, as we know names have power, and that one Nathaniel Flint has already been convicted and as high criminal of the courts of Tartarus for his escape, should then be thrown out. You see Hades raise an eyebrow, and you see, explain further, Mufasa. You want to judge my client off of a known demon lord. Yes, your sworn enemies. For what? Using it in order to protect others in heroics? My client acted heroically. Morph, there's not a law for you, because again, a lot of this is that then, does it fall under heroics for you?
I think so.
And let's see if the courts do.
Okay,
That's
cool.
not a good
I was
idea.
waiting for them to be like,
There's,
explain your
unlike
law.
you, this is why you were in the middle padding, because there's not a lot he has to do for you.
Did he just roll more?
But you see that when the sensing comes back, one morph the changeling, we hereby find their actions to be heroic,
Oh god.
Holy.
but do then sentence of cut contact with one Jonathan Silver, who has since been proved to be a pirate, in the eyes of this court to then be a heroic person. Morph,
Ooh.
unless Long John ever gets clear, if he ever gets that, but you have been asked to cut ties now, or else it will show to the eyes of the court you are not heroic. That was one of the worst roles I've ever had. Whereas good, they have found you good, it is not enough that they still think that, fine, if this is where a lot of your crimes come from, this is their ruling of,
It makes sense.
May I send one last message to Silver to explain?
won't hit messages to
No. I want to use Galder Speedy Courier. I will allow the jury to read the message.
Mufasa would advise you, do not cast a spell right now.
No, I'm asking the court if I may do so.
You see Belial, denied. That will happen after the court proceedings. As they do want to move along. It's something that, like, it's fast because it's demons.
Okay, then this is just Lonnie asking August. Does that mean the morph has permission to cast a spell to say, to explain to Silver what? Oh, yes. Okay.
James
then-
Plead Hawkins.
Not
Okay with
until
that.
the end of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
12 counts of assault and battery, 1 arson, no counts of child abuse,
yeah.
domestic abuse, kidnapping,
Venmo?
no counts of rape or statutory rape, 3 counts of verbal abuse, 4 counts of harassment, specifically to law enforcement.
It was just you?
Yeah.
Only 3 counts of verbal abuse? Who are you?
Hey, I don't say mean things.
29 accounts of involuntary manslaughter of pirates during battles and aforementioned piracy. The only murders you have are those of the devils.
Oh wow.
Dang!
Yeah,
Jim
I'm
is
a
not-
good person.
This is I good.
In the last finale on the Jolly Roger with me, you didn't even kill any pirates.
You
or
killed
anything?
me.
He didn't kill
Meg
anyone.
kills me.
That's
Jim
insane.
has never killed, and even with technically
Oh my
you
gosh,
didn't
you're
even
the
kill
precious little Jim
Zariel
Hawkins.
or
Oh
just
my
about
gosh.
I mean, Jim actually has this. This is what happens. 0 crimes of burglary, 38 counts of larceny, 8 false pretenses, but no other embezzlement, robbery, or shoplifting.
He shoplifted.
Won't, but don't say that.
Or excuse me, that's coming in later. 5 accounts of auto theft.
Okay, I know 2 of those.
Basically, any time a transporting vehicle was taken, because it can be ships, but they're also
Are-
counting when
The
like,
movie?
as it not just moved, but like as a kid, I threw and just it's that like If
Okay,
you
fair
ever
enough, fair enough.
I stole this car when I was a teen.
Fair
like,
enough. Where do you think I got the soul?
again, Mufasa and what he already told you, they're gonna try. He's gonna be like, you can't charge him money for this. He already went through. He'd already been charged.
Yeah, like literally, I've already gone through the court system for those things.
In the aiding and abetting of, just in the Imagineers and the Rogues of just the other crimes they'd already talked about, the attempts of James Hook already been thrown out, and Nathaniel Flint, you actually see Mufasa says, if the court then agrees that one Nathaniel Flint, can these be thrown out as he is high wanted treason for the escape of Tartarus. You see that they'll unfortunately say, while crimes of Flint are considerable, we cannot, though, let this go, as this must be tried as an act of heroics in the attempted murder of Flint, rather than thrown out for that case. Jim, you have 0 counts of morality against you. In terms of gambling or prostitution or drugs, none. Organized crime, 1 account of pirate captain now.
I got an argument for that.
They are calling you to stand because it's the twofold of all the stuff you did as a kid and it's being a pirate captain is kind of a big thing.
Okay. Will the judge and or jury please give me the definition of a pirate?
You see that is pulled up, a little demon pops up. Pirate, a person who attacks and robs at sea, land, space, etc.
Okay. Now, will you show me one case in my life in which I attacked or robbed at sea?
They go through. I'd already. There are none.
Exactly. I would like to hereby I don't know the phrasing for this, but no, reclassify my piracy as adventuring.
Oh.
I'd already cut. Yes, Mufasa in bringing this motion, that will then be decided by the court if they agree that yes, this was adventuring, not piracy.
Yep.
So it's good that it's been very
You would still be a
nonprofit.
captain of the ship, like everything,
Yeah.
but it's like, hey, no,
It's an adventuring cruise.
Very
cruise,
poor
yeah.
pirate.
It's a cruise. It's,
Yeah, honestly.
there was a
You
voyage.
did a very bad job of making you a pirate. You
You
made me a
actually
pirate,
see
apparently.
Hades is sitting here, grinning at you.
Come at me, scrub. I didn't say that
When
out
they
loud.
say cross-examine the ways,
Okay.
nah, I don't need him.
Oh.
Oh.
Hades goes through. They bring this court. Okay. Interesting. You see, as the court convened, taking this testimony, Belial hands to Vieira, going through. The court then finds, in the case of adolescence and underage involvement, hereby already enacted in the eyes of the mortal plane or law against one James Plead Hawkins, in the counts of adventuring, the court will sustain that it was. You see a lot of demons are cheering. As Jim, you may have set a bad precedence for demon law. Hey, we're just adventuring. But a lot.
No, but seriously, what evil did I do?
You did, yeah. It's a good.
Like, I only took ships when my ship was sinking.
You see though that as
I went chasing after a jewel treasure.
Hades is smiling. You
Okay.
can give me one last insight, Jim.
Yeah, I don't
As he
think you
looks at
want
you.
Hades to be smiling right now.
I think I might have figured out, based on what he said, what his
Nope.
plan is now.
Just no.
Just know.
Yep.
They take. The court will now call one James Hook.
Yeah, Hoot might not
Understand.
make it out of this.
As
I
they
just
bring
wanna say
up
you both have the name James. That's so weird.
assault and battery, 9,856.
He's been alive
Arson,
a long
258. I'm going to skip something for now. Kidnapping, 6,687. Verbal abuse, 4,855. Rape and statutory rape, 0.
Good for him.
Oh, good.
Harassment, 32,684.
time. Freaking Smee.
2,548 manslaughter, the murder of 487 Lost Boys,
What the
Oh.
fetch?
murder of
my God.
36,840 pirates,
Okay. If you kill a
burglary, larceny, embezzlement, false pretense, robbery,
still
auto
a
theft,
child murderer.
shoplifting, all totaling over 369,251. Inchoate crimes, the aiding and abetting of one Maleficent, the attempted murder of Peter Pan, Lost Boys, Fairies, Asmar, Navymen, and Imagineers.
Mm-hmm.
This is where then
Well,
Mufasa
not
turns to
the
you, Jasmine.
imaginal
Being the first Imagineer, you can legally drop those
Don't
charges.
Fair is fair. He dropped charges for us trying to kill him. We were trying to kill each other. We'll drop those charges.
One count of conspiracy in aiding and the abetting of Maleficent for the overthrow of kingdom. 843 sailing under the influence of alcohol. 0 counts of any drug crimes, use, or possession.
Interesting.
0 white-collar crimes. 48,310 counts of gambling. 64 assisted suicides
Oh.
of pirates.
Planks.
Place.
Walk the plank.
Oh yeah.
0 accounts of prostitution. And the aforementioned crime of organized crime of piracy.
What's the one you skipped?
1 account of domestic abuse.
Yikes.
The 1 abandonment of one's family.
Oh, this is where his wish is coming from.
The abandonment of said spouse and child.
What?
Oh, fetch.
You see James Pleady's hook. Do you therefore claim this as a name?